हेलो व्हाट्सअप क्या हाल है। चलो लाइव आ गए हैं। आई गेस नोटिफिकेशंस भी गए रहेंगे भाई। सबके नोटिफिकेशंस आए हैं, धाड़ 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 धाड़। मेरे भी आए हैं। मेरा भी आया। मैं बोला ना नोटिफिकेशन सारे आए रहेंगे।
मेरा भी आया, मैं बोला ना।
आई डोंट नो आप तुम लोग में से कितने लोग जो है ज्वाइन करने वाले हो। लेकिन अगर सब्सक्राइबर गोल कंप्लीट होता है तो यार मज़ा आएगा। आज थोड़ा स्टोरी जल्दी रिकॉर्ड किया, नहीं तो हमेशा ये रिकॉर्ड करता हूँ मैं। Is everything sorted? एक सेकंड गाइस। अभिनव भाई सबके इस वे एंट्री हो गई फ्रास्ट।
Yeah, GE fans, look, I know your pain. I know there's never been playoffs before. I know that better than most people. But here we are today. It's the first day of playoffs. You get to see this roster take on one of the old favorites here. I think they're for sure the underdog. They're coming in here without the experience as those players on the other side. But they're ready to bring their A game. They're ready to upset everybody today and show their true potential here in the playoff stage.
Yeah, I'm looking at the leadership of this team. I think Autumn with a lot of experience. Patman haven't played it.
आज ही आया होगा इस वापस ट्रैवल वावल गिर के। मैं सच बात बताऊं गाइस, घर पे पहुंचा हूं सुबह 6 बजे। नींद आई मेरे को समथिंग अराउंड 6:30 बजे और मैं 9:30 10 बजे को उठ गया था एक बार।
To be honest, if you're
नींद
going to be
नहीं आ रही
making it
थी।
deep in the playoffs, you've got to take down a couple of Titans in Pacific, because as they mentioned in the hype trailer there's a lot of dangerous teams in this bracket.
I mean, it doesn't get easier. To quote Frost, just do your job, guys. Let's do the job today. That's, that will be the motto for them, I'm sure. They know that they're good enough to win this game if they play to their level. Taking a look at the map, Vito, again, you can see the mind games. You see how it plays out between two old friends here.
मेरे को शूज बहुत प्यारे लगे। ब्रीज सिलेक्ट किया है हमने।
It's gonna be starting right in the first few rounds because with RQ starting on attack and we saw
और पूरे चेंज हो गए, बाइंड वाइंड हटा दिया भाई। इन बिटवीन टूर्नामेंट हट गया है।
against one of the most aggressive teams in the league. What does RQ potentially have that can break through all of the walls that GE can
I
put
mean,
up?
it was a tough shout either way. Either you're going on to split as RRQ, a map where Ian Zeta have stomped you earlier on in the bracket and you've shown some weakness, or Breeze, a map you lost 3 times back to back at the end of kickoff. They're going to have had to work on one of those maps.
Let's see boys, let's see.
It seems like that they've started with Breeze here. Not only are they not afraid of GE's Breeze, but they're not afraid of their defensive side, despite the fact that GE just stomped Nongshim Nongshim at the
Let's
end
go,
of
guys. G
9-3
fighting,
on
G
defense
fighting.
first.
I mean, 9-3, and it looked...
Clips उड़ाएंगे आज clips
I
उड़ाएंगे
feel like
भाई.
they could have got even more than 9, which is nuts to say. I mean, this GE comp, assuming they play what they played last time, it is potent on the defense. The Sage is so...
तुम लोग के लिए आवाज जाता तो नहीं है ना game का?
So, I really want to see the answers Jovi and RRQ have prepared here, because there's no way you've not thought about
मैंने
it.
मेरे लिए
There's no
बढ़ाया
way
है.
you didn't expect
तुम
Breeze
लोगों
to
को
go
ज़्यादा
on
लगेगा बता देना मेरे को.
So, I can't wait to see the answers here.
No, absolutely. And you know, Frost and Jovi are in each other's head at this point also. So we saw what these teams are capable of. Now you feel like it's almost back to the starting point, because with playoffs here, all of these teams are definitely showing a different side of themselves.
All right, we've found out what RQ have been cooking. Monya, he's had his struggles playing only Neon thus far. Back onto the controller, Harbor, a very popular choice, but they're throwing...
Udo, okay. Oh, we are having a Sage and Chamber comp.
He's always good on any duelist, and
With a single Viper and Sova.
Autumn
का aim चला तो game है.
I like it. We saw Nongshim get stopped a lot in the chokes and then have no secondary answer. This comp will have a lot more util to work with. You should be able to go a bit slower, mid-round more effectively. So that's
Autumn का aim चला तो game है भाई.
Bait out this defensive
I'm
util.
guaranteed.
That puts a lot of pressure on Javi. You have to be smart with your Sage util here. Otherwise, if it gets baited too easily, the side becomes open for RRQ.
Oh yeah, the IGL matchup is crazy as well between RRQ and GE. Just about everything in this match is just so crazy too. We're gonna send it to our casters for our first map of the day, over to Quack and to Elfish.
Thank you so much, Mika. Yes, of course, a lot to talk about today, Quack, and I think that that's laid it out nicely for us, starting off with our first game of the playoffs here for Pacific Stage 1. But have you got any thoughts? Have you cooked anything up in the lab for this game? Is there anything on your mind?
In my lab? Oh, not much.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it all comes down to what happens on the stage. In fact, it's just the main theme of today would be the fact that the teams that win their series...
हाँ guys, मैं एक और बात बता रहा था तुम लोग को, एक story दी.
Elite Four
भाई.
Pacific. And that would be one step away from actually making it to that Masters London qualifier. I mean, it's just such a big pressure-staking game. It's a lot on the players' minds, but at the same time, you don't want to go down to that lower bracket. It's a more treacherous path, more potential pitfalls facing off against teams like DFM, Nongshim. So it all comes down to this.
सबके गायब हुए हैं.
Lots on the line, like we've said. The desk have really set it up nicely for us, but importantly, we have to remember a couple of things for these two teams. RRQ, of course, trying to send Crazy Guy to Vietnam. This is one step on that pathway. And for GE, their first time as an organization in playoffs with lots to prove for this roster. Question is, how far can they go? Do we get a cent today? That's another question. We'll get all the answers as we jump into game number 1 of Pacific Stage 1 playoffs. And this is going to be, I think, a banger. You saw how divided it was on the predictions. Yeah. The desk had no idea. We have no idea. Let's just get into it and see how we go.
Would love to see an Ascent, of course, as well. We already had that a little bit in China. But for now, over onto Breeze, where RQ are starting out on the attack. As the desk mentioned, GE were very strong on their defensive side previously. This time, they're pushing down middle on the pistol.
Yeah, something different.
चलो, let's focus on the game now.
An impact in the game, nice and early. Unsettle RRQ. Haven't found anything thus far, but they've been spotted out.
I know.
That is potentially bad news. GE
भाई मैं
have to
game
make a split-second decision. Do we
watch
keep
party
going,
करने का एक ही
or
reason
do
है,
we
channel
cancel? The
active.
answer is, we're going to keep going, but we're going to go right into Cushy, and we're going to go right into
Udo
Crazy
gets
Guy. This is the perfect
one.
start for RRQ. The pistol surely now unwinnable for GE.
पूरा पिस्टल गायब हो गया भाई.
No shot. Crazy
सब
guy
शेरिफ बाय पे
finishes
थे.
it
दो
off
तीन
with a
बंदे
three.
शेरिफ
I
बाय
mean,
पे
this
थे.
is exactly what Morgan was talking about on the desk. Just the fact that picking this map into, or picking this side into G must mean that you have some kind of antis cooked up. And this one, you could clearly see it. As soon as they saw all 5 down middle, it's a quick pivot over on the B side. That's footsteps, and G thinks to chase instead. Unbeknownst to them,
मस्त बैठा हुआ है spawn पे, flank map कर रहा है.
and they just picked them apart. Off to the next round now, you got to think about how this composition can continue to work off as well, because you've got the Harbor in, you've got double initiator. You can play a rather controlled and measured style. They will continue to default for now.
I mean, I love how that pistol has set us up for this game because
मजा आएगा बे. Game में बहुत मजा आने वाला
the
है.
mind games, that was a really big conversation point.
It will be
The
entertaining.
close matchup, and I think that round is really a
Xavi is
good
holding
example
a
of it, right? There's certainly a lot of layers to
corner.
that. GE this time coming off worse for it,
Smoke हो
but I'm sure
जाएगा.
there's going to be a few more
अच्छा.
implications as we go.
Monya
deeper
is only
into
having a
this
marshal,
matchup as to
लेकिन
how
there
those
are no
kinds of rounds
shields
will play out,
around,
and there'll be a few
so
fumbles
that is
probably
also one
from
thing.
RRQ on that way as well.
Yeah, so much potential. I mean, that's, I think, another big question as well, just seeing Global Esports' path into playoffs. You know, first one, it's pretty big for this team, you know, apart from Frost as the coach. Have they regained that composure ever since that game against KRX, PRX even? They've been looking a little bit worse for wear. They did find that recovery against Nongshim. But what about today? You know, what if RRQ comes in with spoilers to their plans? Do they lose that kind of composure and confidence in themselves and their ability again? So, big test. But for now, just an anti-eco quick Russian from RRQ.
Yeah, 3 players on this side. Now 2 though, as Javi has gone down. Jemkin.
Jemkin 2 मार गया.
Has some amends to
अरे एक तो मारो.
And it's good to see him starting well. A pretty routine round out here for RRQ, but yeah, what I'm most
एक तो मारो. It was like only one, bro. One.
Settling himself, feeling comfortable, because I really feel like he's been a big X factor or a big proponent of the success for RRQ in the past, and the fact that he just went completely missing last week was such a surprise to us all. But if he has a good day today, well, maybe it will be RRQ's day as well.
Right, could be fast. If this map goes RQ's way, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be a little bit worried for GE and my prediction. But that aside, you're absolutely right. Jemkin was a little bit missing. He did find that recovery towards the end of the maps as well.
Yeah.
And that's just something that you always got to think about with this guy. The fact that he's on the Neon as well, though, is very interesting because he doesn't tend to be that kind of dive duelist style, but that's what they're going to be doing into A site.
Certainly. Quick round here for the first gun round as RRQ take all of that space. They've got themselves a Viper wall set up. Get that plant down early on in the piece. The question is now, sent in the direction of GE, what is the answer going to be? They're waiting, of course, for Yunatan to come across. He's still making his way through spawn, so things will probably slow down for the next, 5-10 seconds or so.
Yeah, wait for the utility to go down and then start to find your picks.
Chalo, let's see.
Surrounded completely.
How it happens.
Drone over
क्योंकि
the top,
plant हो गया है.
trying to figure out where RRQ have got
Retake
the setup.
situation.
Yunatan very, very scared about pushing his way forward into A main. There's multiple players waiting for him there.
Oi, oi, oi.
For one, but no more than that.
Oi, oi, oi,
Looking
oi, oi.
for their response, and it is
Patuman with double,
Just
Udo with
completely
double and a
corralling
single
RRQ
kill
all
for
around the
another.
site. A bit of distraction bought by Yudotan, especially with that relay bolt coming across. I mean, they started to turn away from the actual fight happening around the pyramid.
What are they planning? मैं तो होता तो Zavi की ult farm करवाता better
The
था.
fight completely broke apart. Also, quite, I think controlled with G and how they decided to sit inside that cove, break it first.
Zavi को
and
एक
then
frag मिला
that's how
होके.
you find those trades, right? You can see that Jemkin, apart from the initial shot, RQ tried to fight back as well, but ultimately it's the better.
भाई तो ठीक है, Udo को एक भी गोली connect नहीं हुई, वरना double damage तो होता ही.
And at the same time, RQ being able to buy back up, they will probably start to be aware that G might have some potential push outs outside of B for now. So back over with the 3-2 split.
I'm intrigued to see what Yunatan is going to get up to here. He's obviously got the judge in hand, so
Anybody scanned?
maybe get a little bit more aggressive, which is kind of what you're seeing outside of A here. Obviously, GE a little bit more interested in taking a look at
Nobody
middle.
gets scanned.
And
Okay.
that's what this double sentinel
Wall
composition
आया
is
left
as well. We saw
में,
it against
mid
Nongshim.
पे.
We saw how effective Javi can be with the Sage, the walls coming up, blocking off avenues of entry, the slows coming in to slow things down as well. But the main thing right now, though, is they're aware of Xfero being around the corner as well. Does G continue to push the issue? Is RQ going to try to pivot back over onto A site?
Oh, nice.
Hey,
But
no!
it doesn't matter. Xfero is just so much better. I mean, you saw the aim get dragged away, but such a quick readjustment. That's a perfect start for RRQ as they'll waltz their way into A.
Yeah, the only way that G turns things back is if Crystal somehow really proves himself to be the better Russian and finds some frags necessary. Slow mid-rotation as well because they're always concerned about a potential lurk.
There is a lurk. Crazy guy. Just trying to hold on to middle. We'll give away his position.
क्या
but again, it
मार रहा है
doesn't
भाई,
really
crazy
matter. It
guy.
seems like the aim is on point for RRQ.
शांत रहो भाई जी वालों, थोड़ा cool calm composure रखो. 2v4 ठीक है, ये round गया anyhow. Nox भाई क्या ले? कैसे हो?
It's just not really being able to see too much. You've got the Viper wall up over the A side as well. It's just way too difficult. So relatively good call to save, but apart from that, you can tell, this is exactly what you're thinking about. Could the confidence be shaken up once again? You had 2 players inside of Cave or A main, And somehow that's still broken apart because of just Xfero with the aim. You had a judge as well. Like, those are positions where you're meant to win, but you know, one way or another, it happens, and you have to quickly pivot over into thinking, how can you recover from that spot?
100%. That's literally just a mechanical diff at that point. Like, you're right in saying that.
सही बात बताओ, बहुत मजा आएगा ये गेम के अंदर, बहुत ज़्यादा मजा आने वाला है। मेरे को एक टेक्स्ट आया है और ऋषि भाई ने एक मैसेज किया है ग्रुप में। Let's see.
Anything wrong per se. You didn't have a bad setup or anything like that. You just didn't hit your shots. And on a day like today, you're going to have to be hitting your shots.
Flash, okay, yaar, Autumn.
I'm starting to get a little bit worried here, Quack. This is looking a bit awkward. RRQ are fired up, man. They're hitting everything. And GE coming in a little bit sleepy. Autumn 0-5 as well. That's 2 rounds in a row now where he has lost the opening pick as well. GE have to start getting a bit worried here. They've got to find a way to turn this around. Wish coming through from Yudotan. And that might be just enough to settle the nerves here.
चलेगा 1 for 1. It is still doable. ये 2-3 हो सकता है.
What you need in this moment. Start to think about where RQ could be positioned. The drone potentially selling some kind of a fake.
Wall
Please
है.
still trust
Checked
in the
everything.
utility that you do have, which would be the Viper wall as well as the Sage wall inside of Cave. So 2-2 split for now. They can always rotate back and forth. At the same time, players could be starting to get a little bit more proactive down middle.
ये mid वाला door
That's
है.
why you see the rotation from Yudotan going over on the B side, but that's unfortunately not the right gamble.
Well, once again, RRQ just going to try to filter their way out onto this A site. And the fast lane, they had a Viper wall.
Okay.
RRQ happy to take that plan. GE happy to play for the retake.
Drone है, हाँ.
As well. So that will add another element
Nice, Javi.
for GE, but Harvey finding Crazy Guy at least gives them the player advantage, and Kushi is quite low now as well, so this could still go back the way of GE.
Kushi 6 HP है.
Maybe Yudotan pushes in somehow. There we go.
Yep, lead the charge. Kushi still surviving for now. Orb goes up to try to slow things down. Jemkin again, he's on a bit of a heater. A triple for Jemkin in the round. It might just be enough to close.
Let's go!
Batman saves the day with the
क्या
final
खेला है
shot
Batman?
through. And there is time for that defuse. GE will get themselves their second, but it is on a knife's edge right now.
Yeah, not exactly the way that you want to start.
0-3, 0-5. Still दो player ऐसे हैं
Viper's Pit, unfortunately,
जो online आए ही नहीं हैं.
RQ's undoing. They all stayed inside of it, and unfortunately that's where, you know,
Guys, यार एक और चीज है.
with a relay bolt starts to break things apart. Jemkin, they always had to pivot back and forth 90 degrees left and right, and it's always a tough shot to hit, especially when GE are this much in sync. That said, though, it's still a really good point to bring up the fact that Autumn needs to step up.
100%, and maybe that's going to be the conversation here coming through from Frost. Obviously, like we've said, it's a real mental battle between these two teams as well. The two coaches coming in, they've worked together for a long time in the past and now facing each other head-to-head on the stage, and this is where they first both get to have some really significant impact on this game.
It's definitely, what I would give to be the coaching booth to be able to listen in. It's just such an interesting thing to think about, just the fact that they are both so familiar with each other and how they're, you know, thinking about Valorant. They've seen each other's, well, I mean, at least Jovi has seen Frost's, you know, approach towards Breeze for now. But that's where you really want to think about how the next few rounds could go. So far, this comes down to 2 retakes successful for GE. Apart from that, they've often lost the initiative in the early fights, and that could be because of Autumn.
दो players अभी 0-3 और 0-5 है guys.
Really need him to be able to, you know, either find these early picks or anchor down sites more effectively. Right now, though, it's an attention towards middle. Meanwhile, RQ staying with the same 3-2 split setup.
Yeah, I think you probably want to change up the approach to the early round for GE. That will be the conversation point in that break time. This time they're going to, as you say, add a couple more forces. That stage wall up over the top, but irrelevant again as Xfero finds Patman. It's just so awkward, you know. GE, they're trying things. They're trying to unsettle RRQ, but it seems like RRQ always have the answer for what GE is trying to do.
That's another conversation in and of its own as well. I mean, the RRQ core, this team has stuck together for quite a while. A lot of experience, a lot of comfort in these positions as well.
Oh yeah, I would like कि भाई.
So Harvey's going to go down. It's a favorable exchange of course, for
Nice.
RRQ, and even
Autumn game
that
online,
clean kill
let's
onto
go.
Xvero and onto Kushi. This is still a real
This
tough game for
fragment.
GE. You've got to get past Monyet and Crazy Guy, and Autumn, who has only just found his first frag of the map, is the one in the 2v1 clutch. There'd be no better time to start to turn it around than now, but Quack, I feel as though he might be starting to run out of time. A tap on the defuse, tries to get something
Time
going, but
nahi
it's
hai, bola na,
impossible.
time
The
nahi hai.
crossfire is just too strong.
Yeah, that's a potential factor. You would have hoped at least he would have found the first one, though. I mean, so far so good in the micro. He's able to TP away off of the flash. But down to the kills, something's still not connecting for the guy, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's play this together.
And apart from that as well, yeah, I could definitely see this is exactly where all the plans fall apart. Initially, Pat taking first contact, they saw the positions, but as they shifted over onto the retake as well, just not able to find that correct footing. RQ instead, they stagger all the positions all across the B site. Now that could be the game-changing plan that gives RQ the lead. Economy broken for GE, but now Autumn's starting to strike back.
Yeah, that's a bit more like it. He's been having an awkward time at the start of the rounds, but now RRQ get a little bit of their comeuppance. It's a 3D peek maybe from Jemkin straight into the shot from Autumn, and now all of a sudden GE get to play from the front. They get to play from the 5-on-4.
Look at this as well, right? The rotation off the initial pick, and we also have
And
the ultimate brought out now. Toward a force online and zeroed in on towards A main. Anyone who dares step out, if the wall doesn't come up in time, could really be hampered to things.
Thrown out, bit of info being put through. Hunter's Fury with a little bit of a look in as well, but the connection's lacking. And Autumn has changed up his position as well. Won't be
Nice shot,
It's gonna be
Oti.
too little too late for Kushi as that information now starts to come through. Autumn
Triple.
starting to come off in this round. He's been missing, but now
Char maar gaya.
difference maker almost on for the ace. Doesn't quite get it done, but brings it down to the 1v1. And the ever so reliable Patman is there for GE.
Patty can ult, Patty can diffuse.
He's been that guy for the team, but now just a sheriff?
Nice!
Managed to find it there. Xvero Patman cleans it up with the shot through, and GE, oh, they get through another round by the skin of their teeth. But if that's what it's going to take, Quack, a 4K from Autumn and then a 1v1 clutch, I'm still not holding my breath.
Not entirely.
Nice, let's go!
Is it? Still though, I mean, that star factor, you love to see it happen. Somehow picking up Vandal, going in for a sudden peek, and Xvero not able to react in time. But at the same moment, just thinking about how this entire round plays out.
क्या मारा है रे टांग टुंग टांग
2-0,
टुंग.
and that's the strength of the composition that RQ has brought into the fray as well. You've got a Viper Wall initially to kind of condition and mentally confuse your opponents, but then the second deeper Harper Wall comes up, and that allows for Crazy Guy to come in with a side flank, which unfortunately, you know, brought the numbers back down a little bit more.
Autumn with that operator, he can make wonders, bro.
It's always tossing things apart. It's an A split now.
Yeah, I wonder if RRQ going to go fast here to try to unsettle things. It looks like that'll be the case. Jemkin instantly taken down on the trade, but RRQ very happy with the entry they get. It's a 2-for-1 into A. They get the plant down.
3v4. Zavi has the
That's
res.
such a big read. You saw that Autumn was starting to op. Now you know he's going to be buying that for the next round. Let's just run it down. And they actually managed to find the successful trades. You've got Null Command propped up as well, and that's going to be GE a little bit slower to the party this time. Same approach from Yudotan to the back of A main, and it seems like Monyets were rare.
Oh,
Nice!
Yudotan gets the better of Monyet. So we're back into the 3-on-3, and it almost feels like Groundhog Day. They're retaking into a pit on the A site once again. And that was one of the rounds that GE won, but this time they don't have that much time to
Let's
play
go.
with. Luckily, they've got Kushi out of the picture.
Let's
It's
go.
1-1 now. Yudotan starting to come into his own. Xvero
Let's go!
not able to pull it off. Defuse on, and it will be close, but Yudotan doesn't have
.25!
We'll take the round. GE just weren't able to put that one together quickly enough.
NT, bro, NT.
Unfortunately not. Yeah, I mean, every round so darn close. They have to fight tooth and nail for every single retake that they have. And this one comes down to time. They had the positions. Yudotan broke apart this A main hold with that relay bolt. which, you know, kind of meant he had left to deal with the Viper spit. So it all came down to how they actually timed their peaks.
मजा आया था भाई ये राउंड में,
They
लेकिन
actually managed to find the frags necessary, but just down to that defuse, man. Oh my goodness. Once again, you have to think about economy, and once more, GE is broke. They dumped the pit into A main, but the hit's going to B.
Yeah, RRQ once again looking to try and play this one quickly. They've figured out maybe that's going to be the recipe for success, at least in the middle stages of this half. Patman, the only player with a rifle in this round, and of course, like you said, he pulls the pit out in A main, so doesn't have that in the back pocket anymore either. This is a very tough retake for GE.
Trying to go in as a full pistol train. Perhaps buy the attention away for Patman to find a flank.
शॉट
Spotted out here as well, I think. They are aware of his position, so they're going to try and clear him out as well.
Shot.
Together, that's nice. But again, time will be a real factor, and I think Patman is going to have to come up with the goods. He comes in from that flank and
Shot.
opens it up. Now it's down to a 1v2. They've just got to find Monyet. Crystal's on the defuse. He had no idea, but Patman again gets the kill.
टाइम पे हार रहे हैं,
Time GE are just getting so close, yet so far.
टाइम पे हार रहे हैं, 2 राउंड टाइम पे गए यार अपने.
Quite dominant.
I know. I mean, this is already quite the turnaround from last week's Breeze defense side against Nongshin. They actually ended up in a successful 9-3. This time around, though, feels like the score has turned around, more attack-sided for RQ, just because of the reads, just because of the rushes.
टाइम का गेम है भाई, टाइम का गेम है. If the time is not good, Ampli players, welcome to the stream. Ampli ID change की है.
Trades, but still, that just feels like you're always like Sisyphus climbing up against that hill.
Ampli ID change कर दी है.
Rushing into B site.
Yeah, they've really cracked the code, it would seem like. These fast plays is exactly what they've gone for. 3 rounds in a row, and once again, they're straight on into B. The defense is elsewhere.
अरे मिड पे सोलो फाइट नहीं रे.
Pulled out to try and
Nice shot,
slow
Patty.
things down, but it's not
Nice shot, Patty. Nice, Patman. Nice.
from Patman. He's just pulled that out of nowhere. That's just straight shooting.
And it's just Xfera left, trying to play by window. Everyone's marking for him.
Hey, give him the ace. Give him the ace.
एस नहीं दिया.
You can't let his mental go up.
ये YouTube प्रीमियम वाली है. आइए.
Round where Patman sort of
Let's go,
wastes
let's go.
innocence and he goes, "Don't worry about it,
YouTube प्रीमियम वाली है तो थोड़ी मेंबरशिप भी हो जाती तो मजा आ जाता.
Just can't believe that this is how they actually make it work. You know, you have the Hunter's Rear. That's a quick way to, you know, find that entry back in. But Pat taking the confidence to just push all the way down back site.
क्या स्ट्रेफ शूटिंग किया है बे. 1 2 3 4.
The montage. There's already a YouTube compilation of Pat being that difference maker for G. 9-minute compilation.
Dude, he has been insane this season, and once again delivering 13 and 4 in this half, and they're down 6-4. Can only get better for Patman, I imagine.
A real good chance.
6-6 हो सकता है.
You're also employing
6-6
a
हो
very different
सकता है
approach how you
average.
normally go, a little bit more slow and methodical. This time around, rushing back.
बाय द वे गाइस, मैं तुम लोग को एक और चीज बता रहा हूँ. मेरे को एक चीज से मैं सेट कर
So
दूंगा.
just trying to,
स्ट्रीम लैब्स पे आके सेट करनी थी मेरे को, बट मैं नहीं कर पाया.
I mean, the position.
The only thing is, अपना फर्स्ट YouTube पेमेंट सिर्फ $10 दूर है. Basic $10.
That's another thing that
For
people
real
don't
$10
expect,
दूर है
but then
भाई.
again, they might not really walk into it. The main thing to watch out for here would be the setup around B site. Autumn and Pat.
Yeah, drone will have spotted it.
चलो मैं जाता खाना खाने. ओके, खा ले. या लेके आ जा, इधर ही खा ले. Nice. भाई अब पार्टी पागल हो गया है.
Once again, it seems like the door
Patty
is
is
closed.
gone mad,
And it's
bro.
just doing it all by himself at the moment for GE. Eventually, he's overrun. There's a rotate coming through here from Harvey, and that is an unexpected position for Crystal.
30 seconds left.
So all of a sudden, it's maybe falling apart. GE
1v1.
with Udotan
Spike down.
still alive.
A lot of recon available for Kushi as well, though. Udo has to be really quick to break utility or reposition around.
Spikes out in no man's land. 13 seconds here, Clark. I'm not sure he's going to be able
Nice,
to with the
Udo.
duel and can't. Udotan saves the
भाई
day for
कितने
GE.
क्लच
They
दिखेंगे.
are really just hanging on by the slip.
This is the map of clutches.
But you're kind of starting to get to that pass score mark, right? They're getting at least something in this first half.
Yeah, at least 6-6, not too bad. You know, you kind of think about how the attack side could go, working against a double controller on the defensive. But apart from that, you really have
यहाँ
to
पे पैटी
worry
थोड़ा सा
for
whiff
GE.
कर गया,
This
पर
is
ठीक है,
another
चल जाएगा.
round again where Autumn has failed to be that anchor for the B side. He was alongside Pat. Pat actually had the snake bite to kind of try and delay or slow things down, finds the opening frag against pistols.
Patty
Maybe it's the
one
mobility,
side
but
मार रहा है,
Autumn was
one
not able to land
side.
shot, so a bit more support this time. It's Crystal on B side, but ooh, big execute coming across.
Yeah, and they're straight on in once again. RRQ are not delaying things.
ये
at all.
फास्ट हिट्स है ना वो खराब कर रही है जी के लिए खेल पूरा. ये पूरा फास्ट हिट ही था.
Just a bit of settling down, waiting for the wall to come across. Well,
हावे एक मार के उठा सकता है.
still has a lot of utility in for it as well, but once again, Autumn onto the off, trying to find some picks, and there he goes.
Yeah, Xfero's in such a strong position here. They're going to have to try to clear him out. He might even find one more. Harvey goes
5-7.
down.
हाँ still a good off. जो start हुआ उसके हिसाब से.
Udatan.
NT
Autumn.
NT.
And it's really just falling apart.
NT good off good off good
With far
off.
too many numbers.
जो start था उस
A
हिसाब से it's a good off.
7-5.
Pistol सामने गई है.
GE, did they do enough? Have they got enough, do you reckon? I mean, that's still something. It's a base platform to build off of, but they're going to need to have a pretty damn good second half here.
They really do. I mean, you're absolutely right, Jordan. It's the fact that they need to lock
वहीं से अगर चले आता तो हो जाता.
second half,
काम
start out
NT हो
with the pistol
गया.
banger,
Never
and
mind.
continue onward from there, because if not, I could see this going south real quick. Look at how RQ is
Oh,
playing.
कौन है
They're a
भाई
lot
Insta?
faster than they used to be, and at the same time, they always have, you know, well thought out plans in the post plan. Xfero they always have another additional layer, someone on the lurk somewhere else. This time it was Xfero out towards elbow, and he's able to be that spoiler, you know, peeking out towards middle, taking a couple of players down, being that extra factor that G has to.
Guys, ये वाला
emotionally
reel
take.
क्या
So,
public कर दिया
in
जाए?
these, you know, tactical timeouts, you can tell the coaches are definitely finding their input. This is already shaping up to be one hell of a matchup.
Well, I was going to say, do you think this is a case of the apprentice overtaking the master a little bit, right? You obviously talk about Jovi and you talk about Frost, and Frost has kind of taught him everything he knows, but
Oh my
now maybe that's going to blow up a little bit, as it seems as though in a lot of cases, RRQ, I feel like, are getting the better read than GE in a lot of these rounds. So maybe the game plan, maybe the prep's just been a little bit better there for RRQ coming into this matchup.
You know, I'm not gonna lie. In a nutshell, I would say you're right. I would agree with you. Just the fact that so far this is the result. We're seeing RQ kind of run circles around GE a little bit. But there's still, you know, a lot more to go.
Still.
This one comes down to the antes, just having watched a lot of GE's rounds on defense against Nongshim last week. So really, still could be anyone's game. It all comes down to this pistol now for this first map, though, as GE onto the attack decide to go for 4-1 split into A site.
Yeah, big pistol here for GE, and they have very much been spotted out, so that's going to prompt the rotate quickly here for RRQ.
ऑटम नहीं चल रहा है, जावी भी नहीं, अभी तक खुला ही नहीं है. चलो ऑटम का खत्म. इस हाफ में तो पिस्टल में खुल गया एटलीस्ट. एक और अरे पैटी एक और. ओके द वॉल इज परफेक्ट.
Plan's gone down though, and 4v3.
वॉल तोड़ दी गई है.
Double Sentinel.
वॉल तोड़ दी गई है संचित भाई.
Trying to set up as well. They should, but you got to worry about Jemkin now, who's on a slight flank.
RRQ definitely taking their time about it.
चल जाएंगे.
He's got a few
Triple
players,
peak,
one of too
triple
many to
peak.
handle. There's just nothing you can do in a situation like that one. Xfero's hit by the shock dart. Don't think this one's coming together at all for RRQ, but that's a good kill. Trouble is, the post plant is just so strong. And that shock dart.
Perfect.
With the positioning of the plant. Some good kills coming through from Kushi. Is it enough?
पर खुशी ने जो मारा है. कोई नहीं, nice shots, but we won the round. That's the thing we wanted. Let's go. Sanjit bye.
Exciting. Yeah, well,
I also say that's pretty
it's
exciting.
good shot.
Oh my god.
मैप खत्म होगा ना, अपन एक चीज सेटअप करेंगे गाइस. मैप खत्म होने दो, we will set up a
They
thing.
weren't landing those shots though. I mean, the peaks and the coordination to go for these, you know, little.
Because सिर्फ अब मैं यार कितने महीनों से मैं वेट कर रहा हूँ. It's just 10 more.
Come on.
At least they're having a good time with it.
All right. I think to the next round. I mean, this is where you can already start to see.
It's just 10 more, you know.
potential warning signs. You always
feeling
want to worry
bad for
about
it.
where Crazy Guy could be sending these 0 points, and that's what this composition can do as well. You land it just right, you could potentially spoil a lot of executes against Neons. Not to mention the harbor walls and slows.
Well,
What is Autumn trying to do? That is the main thing. Let's go. Sheesh.
Shoulder spot on the corner. Not really seeing too much, so happy to send the rest of the team kind of on their way, maybe have a bit of peek in middle. Haven't got Monyet maybe thinking about a rotate over to B.
Yeah. In all that time, though, G really needs to either bait out more utility and come down to a quick decision, because in all that time, RQ's just going to be able to continue to reposition. Of course, GE doesn't want to lose their weapons, though. Bring it over onto the potential bonus and ride that wave. That's what they're trying to do right now.
It's been the right call so far from RRQ to keep the
Nice.
over on A here, but I'm really not too sure how much
Nice.
it's going to matter.
Avi is not
Good for one. That's, again, not
Nice.
quite enough to really trouble GE.
Avi is not like जो वो aim दिखना चाहिए Avi का वो नहीं दिख
As
रहा
far
है.
as GE are concerned.
Oh no.
Xpero is also
Hang on.
down.
Nah, surely not. I'm not getting baited.
We've got bandits, it's Xpero. I'm worried.
It's on the flank though, so it should have it pretty easily handled. Even if these two players come.
भाई क्रिस्टल का भी एम थोड़ा सा स्लॉपी है, बहुत चॉपी लग रहा है, एम बहुत चॉपी लग रहा है इन लोगों का.
7-7.
I would just say you one thing guys, नहीं हो रहा भाई.
On Breeze.
The
Yes,
thing is not
but also,
the thing is not that
unfortunately,
good.
not. The fact that they've lost 3 guns in that round, Elfish, it's quite worrisome. You're not going to really be able to invest much into the next round. There's a real good chance that RQ comes back into the driver's seat. Starting to get really invested into how this entire map.
Ah, they are
So
investing.
far, kill leaders Patman and Xpero.
सिर्फ जावी के पास एक दिख रही है.
Xpero then could be such a strong anchor for this B side on RQ. So G really has to, take their time with things. That's why it's a more methodical approach as opposed to RQ's.
अरे पैटी वो कनेक्ट होना चाहिए था.
So far so good for GE though.
स्पेस थी कनेक्ट करने की.
So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
I kind of like that. Pat just announcing his presence out towards middle really forces RQ to think, do we want to push back? And if we do, we have to spend something instead for it. And in all that time, G just sets up for a B split.
Crazy guy and Xpero very much watching.
Let's go. Okay, चलेगा. Heal.
To Autumn, but Xpero has kept himself alive.
ये नहीं
at the
चलेगा
side,
ना
and
बाबू.
that is going to be a problem for GE as they're continuing to lose players on the
ठीक है,
entry.
Xavi.
Finally, he's brought down by Harvey. But he's done enough. 3v2, RRQ will feel good for the
I would say if and if
I really have to bank on
जावी एक मारता है, अल्ट पे खेल सकते हैं, अल्ट पे खेल के राउंड निकाल सकते हैं.
So that might not even be a factor.
The
Spot out.
timing.
Yeah, that'll be trouble. Monyet's just going to back up, waiting for the perfect timing. Kushi instead will be the one to take that kill. And Javi was spotted out earlier, so I don't think he's really going to be going anywhere too quickly. Oh, yeah, defuse is on. There's
चलेगा. ठीक है, सेव करो वेपन. Let's go.
Out of position. So 8-7 RRQ will take the
Zeke
lead once
Zewan,
again.
Zeke Zewan.
GE that are having to play catch up.
Yeah, really unfortunate. I mean, just once again, look at how it all plays out. I mean, not too bad with the macro ideas, right? With how they wanted to end up on B side. With the
एक बात है ना, यहाँ पे
initially Pat
एक्चुअल में
showing
क्लियर ही
off
नहीं हुआ,
his
बैक साइड नहीं
position
क्लियर
towards
हुई.
middle. But when it comes down to these fights, I'm not sure
फ्लैंक
what
कौन
the call was.
देखेगा
Just
यार?
aware of Xpero playing
फ्लैंक
against
किसी
that
को तो
side.
देखना पड़ेगा ना.
Closer along the entire wall, but he just kind of springs up. So now a little bit more aware, perhaps. But then again, a different approach. Middle being spotted out by RQ now with Jemkin jump peeking. Not seeing too much in the early moments though. And there's a slight chance. Oh,
हर बार ये हो रहा है कि वो मिड वाला फ्रैग नहीं रह जा रहा है.
It's not quite there.
still just a bit of information.
वो मिड वाला फ्रैग हमेशा रह जा रहा है. पिछले राउंड में भी वो मिड वाला फ्रैग रह गया ना.
They did. Just a different sight this time around, but RQ's being quite proactive as well. Look at the droning all across. You still have Jemkin. Oh my god. Who's finding shots through walls?
Well, we'll take it if we're RRQ. Anything that can get
अब
us through
smoke
this
नहीं है.
map is a pretty tight affair at the moment. Hit not yet in from GE.
एक wall मिलेगी crossing के लिए.
Which direction they're headed in?
वो होने नहीं है. 7-9 ये मैप गया. 99% ये मैप गया.
Has to try to make the
Okay.
difference. He's picked up a kill there alongside Crystal.
Okay.
There might be something in this one still for GE. We're back to 2-on-2, but Kushi on the rotate. He gets one, spots the other, and now the round gets much harder for Crystal. Has to cross back to try to get that spike. He's spotted out by the dart as well. Shockwaves in his direction. He is fighting a battle on multiple fronts, and it's just to try to cross to get the spike. Oh no! Now a snake bite down as well. Surely this is not possible, but he gets a big shot in.
भागो!
There's no way he could translate this onto the B side.
Oh no.
He's on the run.
I don't think he's going to be fast enough.
I think he might be.
10 seconds left.
Oh, did he turn around? I think he turned around.
He has to plant safe though.
He's fine. He's got it down. He's got it down. And he's going to hear these footsteps from Kushi. He actually has time. Why has he jumped? That's so scary. Don't you worry about that one, though. This piece it won't matter. Kushi gets it done for RRQ, and that's another clutch that will go the way of RRQ.
Number of clutches गिनो यार ये मैप के.
Look at how well composed the RRQ players are. So much more experience, so many more instances where they have been put to the
अबे
test.
यार
They
वो
always have
spams
that
bro.
resilience. How many comebacks, how many overtimes have they already been through inside of Pacific as compared to GE, unfortunately. So that one felt really, you know,
I felt bad in this round भाई वो कूद के पोजी भी चेंज किया सब कुछ कर लिया.
I didn't feel like he was sweating that much at all. Timeout now called, and it feels like almost a necessary one. The final lifeline for GE in this second half, because if not, their economy's broken right now, or at least somewhat, and they could really start to lose their grip over this. I mean, RRQ has been kind of controlling things, reading things. You always have this double initiator, which can do so much. If you're trying to break down the door and trying to go fast, you really need to be able to do things in quick succession. Take down these opening duels, set up host plants real quick, but we're not really seeing that from G at the moment.
You can very much see the sweat on the brow of the coaching staff, I think, on both sides there. RRQ, obviously, you know, they're not out of the woods yet. It's 9-7, sure, they've got the advantage. Things are looking okay. I tell you what, that's not a bad shout. Super Xfero, he has been absolutely dominant on this map as well. 21 and 11.
Let's just think about that. Round 15, yeah, the multi-kill who was able to break down so many players as they tried to set off that B split. It's really, really troublesome for GE. They're going to save up for this round, barring Javi on the Hero Vandal. That's probably not going to be enough unless you can somehow...
Guys मैं इंस्टा पे भी एक्चुअली रिप्लाईज कंटिन्यू कर रहा हूँ. तो मैं दोनों तरफ एक्टिव हूँ. क्योंकि भाई जो ट्रायल रील डाली है ना तुम्हारे भाई ने, that has some potential.
Hard in this round with not a lot to help them out. There's that drone. Hunter's Fury is going to be the answer. That is not going to connect initially, but now looks locked on. Kushi gets the better of Crystal. Yudotan taking matters into his own hands. Will still provide a bit of space for GE in onto this side. Spike needs to cross. It will go down.
This is not bad though.
Doable.
Pat in a pretty deep position. If he doesn't get thrown out, if he's someone...
उठाओ क्रिस्टल को पीछे जाके.
There could be a lot of problems. Ah, spotted.
Yeah. I mean, even still though, they have to get past him first, and they haven't spotted him initially. Kushi goes down. There's a race in the mix as well, so we're back to 3-on-3.
Alt
It
है.
is very much an angle here for GE.
Crystal has the ult.
Alt है.
Could be impactful. It's going to get pulled out. Hunter's Fury, slow and steady. Here from Crystal, just trying to buy as much time as possible and delay for Harvey. Coming into the picture for two. Hang on.
Let's go.
Okay, we're back again.
Let's go. A real map in our hands. A semi-thrifty pulled out of the hat. Just thanks to the ultimate, he timed it and spaced this so well. He actually tagged down Crazy Guy as well. But for Javi to be able to stand...
उड़ो आज इतना फ्लैशी नहीं लग रहा है मेरे को. कूल लग रहा है, काम लग रहा है, कंपोज लग रहा है, बहुत प्यारा है. The jitters are there. I would say the jitters are not gone yet. वो पहले प्लेऑफ्स के jitters लग रहे हैं जी के लिए. जबकि पैटमैन कहाँ खेल चुका है, क्या जीत चुका है.
In this roster. The next round up though, and once again RQ are not going to be able to buy back up.
Yeah.
Just trying to do some scouting work for now.
Money's awkward on both sides at the moment, isn't it? Like, we get deeper and deeper into this map, and everyone's trying to invest where they can, save where they can. That's getting tense now. Scoreline close. Still anybody's map at this point. Yudotan looking to work his way forward in middle. Not bold enough to cross just yet.
It always just gets drawn out so much. And for these rounds, you always want to be, I guess, concerned about potential shotguns or, you know, classic right-click ranges, and that's why G probably are looking to group up and just storm the front all the way down A site.
Wolfpack style.
कोई है चैट में?
Five mana,
No
straight on
party.
in, trade out. Yudotan Sliding across, gets the early info. G have been slowed down. Flash out now as well will slow them a little
40
further.
seconds. 5v5 का proper retake आएगा.
RRQ are going to have members here for the defense.
And it's a quick ult as well.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, Rez is through. Monyet helping Crazy Guy out.
Oh,
So still
nice.
5 on 4 now as Jemkin will drop. There's wall
Flank देखो.
side at the moment. Xpharaoh on the flank, as you mentioned, comes into play. Crystal down, and that brings Patman across. He's distracted. Rifle secured for Xpharaoh as well, and Autumn just out of
Nice.
position, shot through the wall. Yuratan trying to sell
Nice, Udo.
a 4K and might need the ace to save.
Let's
him.
go, Patty.
We'll help him out.
बचा लिया.
GE are not doing it easy. I think I might have an aneurysm if I was Frost at this point.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm holding my breath every single time I'm watching these rounds play out. Oh my goodness.
कितने
They actually
clutches
managed to
दिखे.
come up with the call, but that one little grenade fragment from Crazy Guy slowed it down enough for Jemkin to get within range to pop off that overdrive and kind of throw things into chaos for a bit. And in all that time, while it was chaotic on the site, Xpharaoh comes in for the flank, picks up a rifle, finds a huge multi-kill. Thankfully, Yuratan was able to save the day alongside that ball from Javi.
Udo be like, let's go, babe.
This Elfish is where things
पहला time out है ना? पहला ही time out है, I guess.
Timeouts from GE. We haven't seen them from Jovi just yet, and that's where you might be able to run away with a lead. Coming in with the next buys as well. I mean, they are the ones on the defense. And while the desk was kind of talking about this a little bit as well, a big head-to-head was kind of Jemkin versus Yuratan.
Hey, we used both.
But another big one that
कब भाई?
Shevsky did mention was Jemkin versus Autumn. In terms of the operator usage rates, it's these two that you want to look out for. And if Jemkin's the one holding the
और कौन है?
I mean, especially if you think about the games from past weeks, last week against ZFM, he is still quite effective. Taking down a player like Yuratan or even Patman could be a very big factor for RRQ.
Could be indeed. Yeah, RRQ leading from the front has meant they haven't had to invest those timeouts quite as much. So still one more in the back pocket here. If things get tight on their behalf, they'll be getting called before the end of this game. 9-9 is the point at which they might start to get a little bit hot under the collar. Let's see whether or not Jovi has had any positive implications on this round.
Just in terms of positions for now, though. Very controlled, very measured, but early drones in towards A, and that's going to be a call for B players to be prepared.
Sphera's not watching the line. He's
Nice.
deleted, and that is your key player out of the picture. That's the guy that's been pulling you through so many of these rounds, and he's just plucked out of nowhere. That's just a round over at this point, unless Crazy Guy goes undisturbed. Hang on a minute! The reposition from Autumn is not enough to...
अबे उड़ो.
Tan tried to help him out, but couldn't. So we're back into a 4v4, which is not unwinnable here.
Wow, they actually dumped the Reckoning all across to break the pit.
Yeah, pit's up, obviously.
Zavi की positioning बहुत अच्छी थी.
Just trying to hold strong for the moment. A tap on the defuse. We'll see if it draws anybody out. A 1-for-1 thus far, but Harvey having the impact right here. Does have the res if he wants to pull it as well. Probably unnecessary given the circumstances, but Kushi brings it back to a 2v1.
कुछ नहीं चाहिए भाई.
There's no time for the defuse though.
निकल जाओ.
Enemy remaining.
No way, he took down Pat. What a way to find an exit. But the round still goes to G nonetheless.
10-9. Double digits for G.
Call the next timeout here if you're RRQ. Is it 11-9?
Could be. Not gonna lie,
If
it
it
really
goes
could
11.
be.
I mean, this is really awkward for Xpharaoh. I mean, like, what do? You just have to choose which angle to watch. You get 50-50 basically.
Zavi इधर उधर करके एक दो मार गया भाई.
It's kind of like your sight.
संजीत भाई किधर है? चैट में है कि नहीं? Zavi आ गया फॉर्म में. Let's go.
It's just one of those things where you haven't really seen G go in, full 5 down B main for the past how many rounds, right? But suddenly it happens. But still, you got players like Crazy Guy still being able to...
Autumn is still 9 and 18. Double negative भाई.
Proactive
चलो
on the
10-18.
pistols, though, and that's going to be easy pickings for Autumn.
उठा भाई उठा.
Just kind of
At
heading
least
back
Tico तो
towards
उठा.
the wall as well now because they are starting
बहुत
to see
गंदा वो
what could
चेंबर के ऊपर वो
pushing out on the extremity.
स्टार्ट्स बहुत गंदे ही लगते हैं. 9-18 10-18. चेंबर का एक्चुअली इफेक्ट तब दिखता है जब फ्रैगिंग एकदम बोलते ना एकदम सबको आउट नंबर करते.
Push out on B is going to be the risk they're going to take.
ले भाई, let's go, Crazy Guy, you are gone.
Instead, it's dividends for GE, They could have an open B site now, but they're going to be journeying out A main for the time being, having seen a drone towards his position just a seconds before.
हाँ, call out तो ये
Call now.
Bro, the gun should not have been thrown away. Gun मिल गई extra.
Still not sure it really is quite enough to get RRQ into this round, though. They're so out of position. B-side's going to be taken in a second. Plan's going to go down. Got a player watching the flank.
पूरा का पूरा angles check कर लिया, सब check कर लिया पूरा.
On numbers for the retake, not to mention the fact that Monyet's working with the sheriff.
अपार्टमेंट की पोजीशन इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाएगी ना कि एक आधा फ्रैग क्या मोनियट का मिलने वाला है, नहीं मिलने वाला है, दैट इज अ क्वेश्चन. मिल गया, लेट्स गो.
Nice easy kill onto Monyet, who's really struggling in this map. You know, I think it's looked really good for RRQ.
Main wall किया है, let's go.
And now that he's maybe slowed down,
ये क्या शॉट्स कनेक्ट करवा रहे हैं बे अब? नो ब्रो, कुशी.
The other players maybe not quite delivering is actually starting to be exposed, and GE are now starting to push ahead.
Can't fault that argument. It's just what we're seeing on the server.
Let's go, G on 11. 11 is 9.
Like eco from RQ, but how long can we continue to see?
Let's go.
Near the end or near map point now for GE for this map. So it all comes down to this next round for RQ. Such a crucial one. You have to imagine this is where that timeout really comes into factor. What have the players gleaned in from the coach's intervention? The positional
The jitters are done. The jitters are done.
Definitely need to see
Zavi
kind of an early
12, 13, 11, 18, Autumn, Crystal 10, 15. Patman और Udo heavy lifting कर रहे हैं right now.
4 in a row now for GE. RRQ have to break the streak here. Taking it a little slower though. Straight into middle.
Jim can have that operator.
Monya is maybe not the guy that you want on this line if the fight's going to happen. He's been struggling. Jemkin going to come
Short Autumn.
Duel to Autumn and Udatan as well.
Let's go, Udo.
Monya, like I said, has been having a rough game. There's another
भाई Autumn ulti पे अभी तक 6-7 frags निकाल चुका है.
3 individual aim duels won, and that might be the map for GE at this point.
What a way to stabilize. Not gonna lie, this could
इतने clutches के बाद मैं एक चीज बताऊंगा तुम लोगों को. ये लोडिंग गलत टाइम पे आया है. इतने clutches के बाद कभी यहाँ से कभी वहाँ से क्रिस्टल प्लांट कर दे भाई.
Although they have had pretty successful thrifty rates before, this is a GE that is now in control. Just careful plays, positions, expecting RQ.
बी पे ढूंढने जाना चाहिए किसको.
And that's where you find punishment.
उल्टी किसका बचा है? भाई क्रिस्टल को ही भागना चाहिए.
RQ have very much been punished in this second half. They came in with some degree of hubris really. First half looked so
पिस्टल
good.
जीते वहाँ पे एक्चुअली कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्ट अप हुआ होगा जी का, बिकॉज 7-7 तक आ गए थे. ठीक है, उसके बाद बोनस राउंड में भी 2-3 फ्रैग्स मिले. इट वाज अ बेटर गेम इन द सेकंड हाफ फ्रॉम द साइड ऑफ जी. दूसरा मैप पर्ल है बाय द वे.
That's where you could potentially steer the conversation, I want to say shift, towards Pearl as well. And that's one where you don't see GE playing it that much. RQ has played it quite a bit as well.
गन भी नहीं बचाने दी. चलेगा. ऑटम को एक और फ्रैग मिल गया. ऑटम विद द ट्रिपल. ऑटम चल गया.
Very good. Yeah.
Half buys.
Nice buy across the board for RRQ. Really nice impact from Autumn and Udatan to start this round off.
ऑटम चल गया. ऑटम चल गया भाई. ऑटम चल गया.
Reprimands that we had towards Autumn in the first half. He's really stepped back into his own. But here we go. Judge
No timeout?
Yet.
Well, straight away.
Nice Autumn.
Perhaps not going to matter.
Now Autumn is
taken out of this.
autumning.
Like it almost could be considered a victory lap here for GE. Until Patman goes walking right into Monya, and then Crazy Guy with the headshot onto Autumn. It's not over just yet though. Udatan rips the overdrive and tries to get in there nice and quick. Rotate coming through from RRQ is perhaps going to be enough. Pushing
1v2, 1v1.
Autumn in the clutch.
Autumn
1v1
is
to get it
autumning.
done right here for GE. Up on the boxes, spotted out, I think maybe by Kushi. Perhaps the shoulder just seen for a second there.
नहीं.
Across to pick up the spike.
Has to. Dart.
Ooh.
I mean, obviously knows where roughly he is, and so Kushi takes the push.
नहीं रे Autumn.
We go again.
ये तेरा round था.
Oh my.
But Autumn is 17 and 20 now.
Selfish. Isn't this fun?
He is coming back.
Yeah, it's fun. You would have thought that this round belonged to GE. Everyone had light shields. That Outlaw was firing off inside of A main. But unfortunately, somehow, Pat, not quite anticipating that Judge around the corner out by mid, donates one over to Manya. That becomes more kills. Kushi
कोई
still
बात नहीं,
pops.
कोई बात नहीं.
And down to this position at the end, just unfortunate
भाई,
for Autumn.
actually देखा जाए तो हम पेपर एक्स के अलावा सबको टफ फाइट दिए हैं.
Tried to go for the fight instead. Unfortunately, was not able to live to tell the tale. The next round up, though, and that's where you start to worry as well because, you know, G can't afford out towards, you know, the rest of the rounds, but it's big setups from RRQ, and they have ultimates
Now
as
it
well
is
to weather
getting
this storm.
worrisome,
Setups can only
guys.
do so much if there's a good flash tosser in. Nobody playing anti there.
Worrisome मतलब भारी वरी.
Suffering as a result of it. Hey, I mean, there's a chance
Outlaw
we
से
might
दो
go
तीन
see the
निकालने
first
पड़ेंगे.
basket of
If
the stage.
not, then it is a very tough job.
Very possible, unless somehow you find it pick.
Patman had been reliable, but again, maybe slowing down a little bit here. Not the time to. Still need another round on the board here for GE, but relying on Crystal and Autumn to try to put it together, and they are pretty aware of Kushi's position, but that doesn't make it any easier to dig out.
Just not happening. 2v5, now a 1v5. The only thing I could say is you don't want to donate these alt points over. Watch out for Crazy Guy, though. He's close to null command.
30 seconds left.
I mean, what can you really do here as Autumn? See if you can farm up a tour de force, but there's only one round left anyway, so maybe fairly irrelevant. Kushi gets it done. 12 to 11. OT Brewing, RRQ with a late map resurgence. It's a great setup, the flash into main, isn't it?
It's one that you haven't seen them deploy so far. So can you really blame them for being surprised? But that will be the score. Now you're kind of aware to it, and that is another one where, yes, you test the mentality of the GE players. Are they calm enough to really put together the right calls to finish this out in regulation?
Yeah, the pressure is building, that's for sure.
बाकी सब ठीक चल रहा है ना
Again, a
guys.
slow approach from GE, as we have typically seen on this attack.
Just trying to end up on that B site. They have all the recons, all the potential initiating utility off Udotan, but just for now to break the drone and then go off contact.
Drone's going to spot quite a few. That Hunter's Fury.
Nice,
Real
Crystal.
problem.
Oi, oi, oi.
But Jemkin and Xfero holding strong for the moment. It is a 3-on-3 for the map. GE pushing their way forward. Patman again. This
Nice,
time
Paddy.
might have made the difference, as he had so many times in that first half. Pulls it back to the 2 players only for RRQ, and that plan's gone down.
Patty को देना चाहिए था plant.
It's going to obscure vision for now.
Patman just drops down, tries to wait it out. Can't escape this time. Harvey pushing his way
Yes, Harvey,
forward.
yes.
just past
Yes,
Monument's
this
line.
map is ours, guys.
Player
This map is ours.
struggling all day long. Needs to put it together himself. Smokes off the spike. It's not going to help him out at all. Taps are not fooling anybody. You've still got some shock darts through there as well.
Let's go.
It is down.
Zavi ने एक गोली नहीं चलाई end तक.
11. It was a valiant effort from RRQ to try to come back.
Feels so close.
भाई क्या खेले. हाँ क्या ही खेले हैं लड़के. मजा आ गया भाई, मजा आ गया. अब लग रहा है ना ये जर्सी अगर मंगाई है मैंने तो अच्छा लग रहा है. This jersey has some worth now. भले ही एक साइज छोटी हो गई है बट ठीक है. My sister is waiting for this. ठीक है ना. Are we having a stream element kind of a thing right over here? Stream. Wait on, guys. Actually, we need widgets now. तो इस पे नहीं, we go on Google, we go on this, till time stream elements. उससे तुम लोग को तो दिखेगा कुछ नहीं, बट सेटअप होता जाएगा. कैम की वाट लगी पड़ी है अभी दिखा. एक्चुअली अभी दिखा. Overlays nahi, elements nahi, sponsorships. No. Guys, give me a minute. भाई ये लड़की बहुत आगे जानी चाहिए. आई वुड से शी जस्ट मेड अ सीरीज जिस पे हम सब सोच रहे थे कि सीरीज बनाए. एक्चुअली आई वॉज थिंकिंग अबाउट मेकिंग अ सीरीज ऑन दैट, बट मुझसे वो काम हुआ ही नहीं. बट उस लड़की ने शुरू किया. और उस लड़की ने जो सीरीज पे काम किया है, आई वुड से बहुत प्यारा काम किया है. गाइस 2 मिनट दो मेरे को. जस्ट गिव मी 2 मिनट्स गाइस, 2 मिनट्स. मैं तुम लोग को where is widgets? Widgets. एक सेकंड गाइस. एक मिनट गाइस. टाइम्स न्यू रोमन, यही ठीक है मेरे लिए. गोल अमाउंट 8 नहीं रे, 10. फर्स्ट वाईटी पेमेंट, कॉपी हो जा. कॉपी पेस्ट इन योर स्ट्रीमिंग सॉफ्टवेयर. ब्राउज़र 2 पूरा यूआरएल कॉपी तो हुआ है. ओके वे दिख रहा है? हाँ यार दिख तो गया, परफेक्ट है। मैंने कलर्स वोलर्स अभी तक कुछ ये नहीं किया है, मेरे को बोलना मत तुमने कलर वोलर नहीं लगाया, जस्ट इतना ही बचा गया, इस करवा दो यार। यहाँ पे भी वही है ना ब्राउज़र, यहाँ ब्राउज़र 3 लगेगा, URL ये कॉपी होगा, ओके भाई इतना ही बचा है, ऑन टॉप ही रखता हूँ, इधर रख देता हूँ, तुम लोगों को दिख जाएगा। Vortex has finally joined the chat, आ गया ना? नाइटबॉट Vortex दोनों आ गए हैं। Now it's perfect. अरे यार ये नहीं दिखाना था तुम लोग को, बट ठीक है।
frags just come so easily and he could just win you rounds and games.
I mean, we heard it from Frost, right? I was asking which players really come alive in these high-stakes kind of matches in high-pressure.
खाना भी आ गया गाइस अपना।
It's inevitable path.
तुम लोग भी
He
lunch ले
shows
आओ।
the numbers. He actually does perform. He loves playing in environments like this. Now, though, we're moving over to Pearl. And speaking of Pat, he did have a lot of very memorable plays.
सात bands है, सात।
GE were on this map, but RQ here, this is their map pick.
It's a much better map for RQ. We can see that they've picked it 5 times there. You know, it's not always been successful, but it's a map that they feel like they understand well enough to pick. Global Esports less so.
Lunch भी आ गया।
Last time.
I love how you said it's a great map pick for them. I mean, they're losing to some of the best teams in the league, guys. So, look, at the end of the day, that's going to happen. But they do have a lot of chances of picking it. The thing for me on the side of GE is their defense was actually quite good against PaperX, even if they ended up losing that game. They were 8-4 on the defense. They ended up going 0-9 on attack to lose to PaperX. So their attack was much better than we saw previously on that game of Breeze. If they could keep up the good attack side calling, they have a chance to 2-0 here on Pearl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't discount that at all. I mean, I just wonder, like, what these teams, of course, you know, this is the first match into playoffs, so, like, how much are these teams going to be changing their performance? It could still change up, but we did see a little bit of frustration on the side of Frost. I wonder what Jovi is thinking. So let's send it to the stage with Bella and Jovi standing by.
Well, I'm here with RQ's coach Jovi. Well, we saw how Breeze went. It was very dicey till the end, but you know, GE taking the win on that. What were you telling the boys just now?
Just got to play our game, focus on ourselves, not giving them the kills and those opening picks, because that's really what it came into. So we just have to make sure that we control how we want to play.
I mean, regarding the game, how it went, did Frost throw any curveballs your way, do you think?
No, we had a good understanding of how they wanted to play, so that we weren't surprised. It was more little things on our end.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that it didn't go overtime first map. Yeah.
Would have been nice right now.
All right, thank you, Jovi, and best of luck to you on Pearl.
Thank you.
Very nearly, though. We all thought it was actually going to go into an overtime, but I totally agree with Jovi. It didn't look like RQ was very surprised by what they brought up, but it was just those little moments which, you know, many might say is like characteristic of RQ.
Yeah, need to see them bounce back on their own map. Here, Global Esports won.
Autumn on that Phoenix!
Compositions. Global Esports swapping it up stylistically. Autumn is across onto that Phoenix, so it's double duelist from them now. This to me feels like a move to shore up that attacker side where it was weak against Paper.
We got some changes for both teams as well. We're still running the chamber here on Jemkin, but I believe Kushi Sky and Xfero Killjoy is a little bit of a change up from what a lot of teams are running at the moment over here on this particular map. This looks like T1's comp actually, so we'll see if the pairing of the Sky with the Neon is going to be a good one between Kushi and Monyet, because right now Stacks and Buzz for me are kind of setting the standard for how you're playing that combo right now, and even T1's this comp is kind of bad. We'll see if RQ can pilot it a little bit better, I guess.
Well, it probably stuck with them after that last match, right? But we'll see if they can indeed make this work, or if Global Esports takes the first series of playoffs. We're tossing back to Quack and Elfish.
Let's see indeed as we head into map number 2, and it is all on the line now for RRQ. Obviously dropping map 1. That road to Vietnam, that road to Ho Chi Minh looking a little bit longer here for Crazy Guy, but it might not be the end of that road. Of course, there is still a lower bracket as well, Quack, but you'd much rather go through the top side of the bracket. And I'm quite eager to get into this because it seems like there's been a bit of cookage over there on the global esports side. We've got that double duelist. You saw, obviously, the Des mentioning that as well. Autumn in onto the Phoenix. It's exciting. He actually traditionally used to be a duelist player, so, you know, I'm sure he knows his way around it.
This is definitely just a big melting pot right now for both sides. G definitely cooking as well, though, as they push out all the way inside of A main.
The other question, obviously, is are we going to get to Ascent, right? That's a tantalizing prospect too. But that is a bit of a ways away as we head deep into this pistol. And Eurotown will be the first one to draw blood. Crazy Guy down out on the other side of the map. I mean, you've still got a second player here. You wouldn't be expecting 2 to be covering the flank. So Sfero's going to be good for 1, but does fall to Patman. The spike plant going down on
Crystal.
The B side in the meanwhile. And it's just an absolute mess. This pistol fights all over the place. Little skirmishes here and there, but we, as the dust settle, find ourselves in a 2-on-3. At this stage, GE Gen 2 sure exactly where RRQ are sitting at the moment. You have one back calls. Kushi will need to hit his first shot here. He's spotted out the barrel. Oh, he's got the chance for the double. The right clicks do enough. And he finds Patman. Awkward timing, of course, on the reload, but still gets a bit of damage off before he falls. And that sets Jemkin up for success. It's exactly what RRQ need. A pistol in the second round. Sorry, in the second map to get things going. Batman just has no chance here at all. Jemkin will finish it off. RRQ get that pistol and get underway.
Oh my god, make no mistake, Cushy is the hero of this round. Jemkin, of course, as well, a little bit of his own moments, but just the way it all happens is, once again, G recognized, pushing out, very clear protocols. He almost whittled it down to the numbers game, but RQ quickly recognizing to push out onto CT as well, which is where, unfortunately, Manya does fall. But it gives them that extra position. They would never have expected Jemkin to be, blocked off by that smoke. And even though the tap comes in, it's just more positions that G hasn't really contended with before. Yep. Next round up, and once again, G still being proactive on defense.
Well, early days. G can't afford to get too worried just yet. Claiming that old Torb outside at A.
Yes.
Gonna get a flash around the corner, maybe not actually, as they do just decide to go dry. Won't really matter too much, of course, as RRQ are all set up over towards B. Bar Xfero, who again is watching for that flank. And again, gets himself a 1-for-1. I think everything so far kind of goes to plan for RRQ.
Yeah, as long as they don't lose more rifles, it probably shouldn't happen, but you can already tell what G's game plan is. It centers around a lot onto Autumn and this Phoenix. You always want to take that A main orb, farm towards the alt points, or the alt, in fact, and then just come in for strong retakes off of it. He's already done pretty well, but I don't think it's enough for, unless he finds more kills, a round 3 alt, which really would be the best launching pad for the teams. Nonetheless, so this time round,
ulti ready.
Musket shots with that Marshall, Cushy being able to finish off with the 3K.
So great start to the map. It's already got those Seekers farmed up, so very, very quick charge. 5 and 1.
बहुत गलत पिस्टल ड्रॉप किया है.
So it makes you think about, does G
पिस्टल ड्रॉप करने जैसा था ही नहीं.
Build up towards that orb, and what's RQ's reaction to that going to be? Do they just sack the A site?
पिस्टल नहीं ड्रॉप करते तो शायद कुछ बन जाता, but नहीं बन पाया. NT हो गया.
Half players contend for the A orb, and that's kind of looking like what they are trying to do, especially when you have Crazy Guy on the Astra. You got stars all around.
Yeah. It's a minefield of stars.
Play minefield. Maybe not.
It's not going to be that quick.
Zavi spots.
Outside of A. In fact, you've still got a couple of players back in the defensive
Zavi spot.
Milling around, trying to figure out where do we want to go, where do we want to set up. It's going to be towards B, that we do have the 3 players stacked up. Jemkin making a bit of noise, and the double swing is going to come through. Jemkin just pushed away as a result. Doesn't have any backup over on this side of the map, so most assuredly will be going down.
But अकेला छोड़ा था उसको, इसका मतलब मिट्टू ये एक अब सीन बन सकता है.
That is pushing into middle.
Tried to find that port of call over to the
वही बन रहा है. Xfero gets Udo.
Autumn has to run it back now.
Whoa!
Nice.
Batman dealing with it quite nicely. Dodges the flash as well.
Nice.
He can't quite get away with one more as Crazy Guy gets him in the side, but overall, solid enough hold so far for
1v3.
GE. See what Crazy Guy can put together.
Tino disengaged hai, kind of.
Push out actually here from Crystal. Crazy Guy.
But बढ़िया
Not be
Crystal.
prepared for that. So
Well
GE
played,
playing
Crystal.
Their first round. It doesn't take them long to get into the conversation either, does it?
Yeah, lovely conditioning work and how GE is able to play around it. Pass through rounds, you know, it's always that A main fight. This time around, you kind of send.
ये तो guarantee है
back over
guys.
onto the B side, and that's why
Pacific
they fight.
जैसा region तुम लोग को नहीं मिलेगा world के अंदर.
Marshall, but then you end up back over across middle, and that's where most of it breaks apart because G has control over connector, G has control over stairs, and that's a tough choke point for RQ to break out of once G already
Pacific
gets
as a region बहुत crazy
At
region
the
है.
same time, Autumn has that run it back. He's still keeping it in his pocket, can use it for the next rounds. RQ though comes in with their own approach. First time with a full force into A main, something that G hasn't really spotted out yet, but they will now with the haunt going through.
Jemkin looking for it. For now, Patman not pushing forward, but I think he will in a second. Curveball's going to come around the corner. Flash lands. Autumn out of the picture. Obviously not a problem just yet.
ये main का
And it
control.
allows GE to take that space. So it's a nice usage of the run it back. Pushes RRQ away. And it's going to force them to retake it with only a minute left on the clock if they want to go A, which it kind of seems they do.
Yeah, makes things really
Holding.
tumultuous for RQ.
वो देखो
That's
पीछे
what's
हमारा
really
Zavi
how
बैठा
G approaching
है.
this map currently. Force RQ to spend utility, spend players or timing, just to take forward space.
एमिन फिर से क्लियर करना पड़ेगा. बैक साइड उड़ो बैठा हुआ है जज
Still
लेके.
clearing outside of A.
Now comes down to the picks if Jemkin's somehow able to find one in all that chaos.
अब या तो स्मोक मांगा जाएगा या पुल मांगा जाएगा. आई वुड से स्मोक मांगने में ज्यादा अच्छा है.
Judge.
Well, here we go. Yutan inside of the smoke, just going to be able to grab himself the 1-for-1. Monyet out though, and Patman doesn't seem to be too aware of it. So
Nice
that'll be
try,
another freebie that actually starts to stabilize this round a little bit for RRQ. Plants now down as well. Fast read
Nice.
because GE
Nice.
across, but Autumn and Crystal finding
Well
themselves
played, Crystal.
down to just Crazy Guy now. This round has kind of fallen apart. It's kind of disappeared for RRQ. It was maybe a little bit too telegraphed. Damage done onto Crazy Guy will make this impossible. He is going to hightail it. He's getting out of there. So another round here for GE, and the defuse will go over to Crystal.
Really just want
2-2.
rifle for it. The next
Good
one.
round, good
Looks
round.
like we gotta be broke. Not gonna lie, Elfish, this is where I want to
Ruko.
sound alarm
वो
bells
गंदा दिख रहा है.
for RQ. I know it's really early on, but just from what we're seeing
इसको
right now,
खींच के
apart from
नीचे ले
pistols,
आऊंगा.
GE is just doing so much.
Yeah, I like this round a lot for GE. Very, very proactive on the defense.
हाँ इसको
Never
खींच
really
के
felt
नीचे
like
ले आऊंगा.
RRQ got settled. They were always a little bit uncomfortable, and even in the back end there, that time
फिर
pressure
भी ठीक है.
starts to come into play as well.
And that's
So,
the thing as
great
well.
round.
If you're seeing, RQ's composition, double sentinel, it's really tough for them to find entry into sites. I know T1's played this, but Bust Stacks is a little bit different from Monyet Cushy. So you really need to find these quick entries. You really need to be able to set each other up, especially Monyet, the tip of the spear. GE once again though, after this round, just taking all that space up, be long, they can set up off around it. Meanwhile, RQ just trying to find as much as possible, scout out towards the middle.
नहीं यार RQ में एक्चुअली वो पता नहीं वो स्पार्क ही नहीं दिख रहा है. ऐसा भी नहीं है कि खाली जी अब B-long ले लिया जी ने. एमिन का रिकॉन करके इन्फो ले लिया.
Back towards B-long, and if they are able to take down Yudotan, this could be workable.
उड़ो पे भी इन्फो आ गई है शायद शोल्डर पीक दिखा है.
Play cautious and back off slight timings.
Yudotan still want to be a little bit careful.
स्टॉल उड़ो ने भी कर दिया.
Should just get him out.
ऑटम वॉल कर देगा. हाँ कर दी.
Tough to hit the neon at that kind of range. So again though, you look at the space that's taken by GE, and RRQ having to push in now with 30 seconds on the clock, continuing to be pushed away there.
Oh man.
Shatkins,
Where can
30
you go? 25
seconds.
seconds, like they have zero map control. This
Run
round's
it.
a sham.
Run into A site. Lockdown already prepared by GE.
You can't. What are you going to do? You're going to lose the round. That's what's going to happen here. We'll see. Maybe Monyet with that entry.
Udo with the triple, Zavi with another, and it's over.
Where this one was going. This was just
It's over.
looking in all sorts of
मैक्रोस इतने परफेक्टली शॉर्ट करके रखे हैं ये मजा आ रहा है बे गेम देखने में.
Necessary. But
This was a half buy, to be fair.
yes, if anything that we can say off of this half buy, or that Hero Rifle, brought over from the previous round, RRQ forced GE to spend, quite some key utilities or ultimates as well, especially with that lockdown coming in. You wouldn't mind it if your GE just continue to build up on those rounds, and we will see that timeout coming
It's
in.
over, it's over, it's over.
Apart from that, once again, it's just GE working.
बहुत
this
वोकल
map,
दिख रहे हैं जो भी सर.
just setting up 4 walls around RRQ, and everywhere that RRQ turns to, they just get blocked off.
Exactly, and this is what we wanted though. The timeout coming through gives the chance for coaching staff to have some kind of input, because clearly something's not working in the server right now for RRQ. They need a bit of additional help. I think that was very much obvious to us, to everyone that's watching. But I mean, that's a lot to fix in.
प्लेऑफ शुरू हो गए हैं.
We'll see.
ऐसा फील है भाई कि प्लेऑफ्स में एक साउथ एशियन टीम खेल रही है विदाउट एनी साउथ एशियन प्लेयर्स. दैट्स ओके.
Take back forward space, especially with Cushy's flashes or Monyet diving in, sliding perhaps with Relay Bolt. That's quite costly, and that hurts your chances of taking down the actual site itself. So if you're somehow able to maybe work off the operator, and maybe perhaps that's what they're trying to angle towards, go in a little bit faster with the quick pace switch-ups that we've seen at the previous map, that could be something that GE doesn't expect. But then again, let's listen in.
I just got you guys. East, I kept Afros. Cap. Nothing guy, guys, nothing guy. Can you check Alabama, check Alabama, check Alabama. He's small mid, guys, he's small mid. Can you cap? Plus with plus after.
ठीक है, perfect.
Player that GE wants, just again controlling that A main orb, forces RQ back, and they're trying to pivot off to something else now. Maybe towards B, where Crystal is, but he's got the entire site booby trapped.
It does sound like pretty frantic comms from RRQ, but I suppose that's kind of what they always sound like, so maybe I don't want to read it
Now
too
it's
much.
1 minute
No, I mean, they just talk
and
fast,
3
man.
seconds
They should be
left.
on the caster desk with us.
अभी तक ना बीमेन का कंट्रोल है ना इमेन का कंट्रोल है. काइंड ऑफ बीमेन है बट बीमेन का इन्फो बी का इन्फो नहीं है.
Trying to get a little bit more proactive.
ये वो फेक करने के लिए पुल आउट किया है. अब मिड पे जा रहे हैं, कंटेस्ट कर रहे हैं.
Push here for GE, and you wouldn't be expecting it necessarily. It's
Double.
Pharaoh catches one, Monyet the other. Autumn caught with the util in hand, and that is
बढ़िया.
very awkward, but still a 2
Zavi ने
minutes
अच्छा
up here.
hold
High
करवाया.
low, not going to be good enough as that flash comes through. That's good recovery from RRQ. Harvey still trying to fight his way forward, knows that he
क्या
needs to do
मिलेगा ये
something about it
2v4
if there was ever to be a
फाड़ने के
chance.
लिए.
Of course, doesn't happen. So spike down, 2v4. Seems like RRQ might have cracked the nut open in this case.
A good way for them to stabilize.
Maybe 2v4 निकल सकता है. Maybe.
Possible for G unless somehow Crystal's able to find a flank, but at this point it should just be exit frag positions. An operator preserved for RQ as
No,
well.
they are not trying it.
Similar approach to what we saw over
They are not trying it. They are not trying it.
Just a bit of noise, and then sitting down, baiting out our GE into the open, where you find that punish.
NT,
and more
NT,
off points being
NT,
taken
NT,
up
3
as
to
well.
3.
No
Not
extra
bad, not
frag
bad.
for GE.
I don't want to get pushed into Ascent, bro. That's it.
3-3, another tight map. Didn't get the OT for RRQ in the previous, which is, I think, what everyone was sort of hoping for.
Yeah,
But we might get it again. Might get the opportunity for it again here.
quite possible. At least for the next round, though, while RQ tries to find some momentum, GE should still be able to buy back up and continue to play around the map. It's more conditioning towards A main once again. It forces some of RQ's resources and Crazy Guy to constantly think about this A main position. So it's quite crucial for Jemkin to be able to find whatever he's looking for on this B site.
Yeah. I mean, it's the similar setup again for GE. Take that A space. Start to pivot your extra players over towards mid, over towards B. And RRQ not going anywhere quickly at the moment.
Oh. I think they're starting to expect GE to be a bit more investigative outside of middle. That's where they could find some punish.
Crystal, you'd think, should have the advantage in this duel.
Perfect.
With the judge up close and personal, but neither player really connecting. So everyone goes walking away happily.
Look at this approach, hugging the wall, looking for the launching pad into B site.
Relay ball goes through. Monyet's going to be spotted out as well. Oh, picks it.
Zavi gets
Harvey comes into play
with double.
Double. That might be enough to just Settle the nerves a little here for GE. They're happy to
Zavi gets a double.
that retake if necessary. Cushy. Ooh, okay. That might make things a bit more interesting. Killjoy ult timing out now, and that'll be the go signal for GE. Yutatan forward, deleted. That overdrive is absolutely nothing. And Crystal, a bit of a whiff as well. Now it's onto Patman, who, again, I will reiterate, has been so reliable for GE. But how many times can you ask him to save the day? Here's another one. 14 seconds to try to get that plant. Patman could try to isolate a 1v1 in that timing. Cushy's down. He knows where Monyan is.
Legit one.
Surely it's Patman on for it once again, but he backs away.
He's legit one.
He does it again and again and again.
How has he done that with a one tap? I would have thought maybe you swap over to the Classic or something if you have the info, but he does it with a one tap for the Red Bull clutch. This is incredible. The player plucked up from somewhere tier 2 over onto Paper Rex, now over onto GE, where he's just delivering games and rounds for this team. Look at how it all happens again. I mean, great entries, great way to play around the conditioning off the map. RQ ends up over on this B site. Yudotan tries to find that quick entry back in, and Monyet just pulls out a monkey kill out of nowhere. Quick swings and living up to his name as the monkey. But still, Pat comes in and isolates those duels. The next round comes up and RQ still has bank.
I think Pat's probably unbeatable in the clutch at the moment. He's just so confident right now. And it is really a confidence game. Flash of
nice.
There by Autumn.
Nice.
He delivers the double.
Nice, Autumn.
Maybe just a little bit more than that. GE getting some momentum off the back of that Patman clutch. And they are really putting RRQ.
Nice, Autumn. Nice.
Yeah, this is unfortunate for RQ. You're just starting to pick up some steam, and then all of a sudden you're on that chopping block. Not what you want to have. The one round where you suddenly decide to take and contest for that A main control, but Autumn pulls this off. He's been somewhat quiet for the most rounds, but suddenly comes up huge again, and he has another ultimate. So this round, G's not sweating.
I mean, I think that's a brilliant thing really about Autumn in this team is that at the moment, the way that it's kind of set up is you don't necessarily need that from him on a regular basis, right? You're getting enough out of Yutatan, you're getting enough out of Patman, and then as a third fragger, if Autumn kind of has those moments, I know it's maybe a little bit different now that he's on the duelist, but you know, last map even there was like 2 or 3 rounds where Autumn just pops off, has like a 3k round or a 4k round, and those are
30 seconds
really big difference makers in the sort of flow of the game.
Yeah.
And that is maybe why you see GE get over the line 13 to 11. If he's not doing that on maybe 1, 2, 3 rounds in the map, whether or not he's having impact in a lot of the other rounds is potentially a moot point because he's kind of getting it done.
I guess it's kind of what you need sometimes, isn't it? I mean, of all these successful pieces, everyone has their role and everyone has their job to do, like what Frost said in that little playoffs trailer. But Autumn is one of those guys who just is able to suddenly show up. You don't think of him too often. It was a chamber, rather quiet. Yoru, he had some, you know, effective moments back in kickoff. But suddenly here today, and this is another thing that perhaps RQ hasn't quite prepared for or thought about, is this comp switch up from Global. Autumn onto the Phoenix, where he's able to go a little bit more proactive.
He gets 3.
Yes.
I mean, that's true though, like he probably shouldn't get 3 there, right? Like at the end of the day, that needs to be traded a little bit better.
Alas, it is what it is, and RQ are now somewhat broke. Jenkins still has the off, but he's been spotted.
Yeah, you can see GE again kind of playing with that confidence. And happy to try to chase down Jemkin. I mean, space taken here by Yutatan, but Seeker's going to find him. And Jemkin out of the game for now. Site's going to be taken over on A, so kind of blows up in the face of GE, that aggression.
A huge cosmic divide, really deep towards the back end of CT as well. If more smokes and shotguns, traps being set up, it's going to be tough for G to clear it.
Monyet gets rid of Autumn.
Nice.
Didn't run it back node, so he's not going to be having too many problems about that. 4v4 is going to ensue. As GE starts to push their way in onto the site, they have got nobody to find, but that Cosmic Divide is going to cut everybody from RRQ out of the site.
Nice
very
one.
much on offer right now. Patman and Harvey finding themselves some picks, and the defuse is started. Flash onto Autumn is a good one. He can't escape back behind the wall in time, but the defuse, just about cancelled.
Done.
GE get it done. I mean, that wall made all the difference.
Suddenly, quickly deployed by Javi. He almost got caught by Crazy Guy as well, but just heard the footsteps in time to land the op flick. But the moment that really had me on the edge of my seat was
बढ़िया था Crystal का ये frag actually.
Still secured, but just a hair too late. I mean, what an incredible round for RRQ.
I think that's a great Cosmic Divide. It just cut all 4 of those RRQ players out of the round. Had to push their way in. Very awkward this time. Fast. Unable to deal with Monyet, who's bouncing around all over the place. It's the Guiding Light and Monyet that get the job done. RRQ back with a vengeance here into round 10.
And unfortunately, a little bit more weaker now. GE just
अब
trying
बचा
to
लो.
pick up the pieces.
अब बचा लो.
Not able to survive. Just Javi on the operator trying to hold on to it. I mean, what a quick round. All of a sudden, RRQ decides to switch up the pace, push down into art, something they haven't done so far. And it's Monyet who turns this map into his playground.
अब बचाओ.
Any extra kills here that Harvey's able to get could still be pretty impactful. See if he can maybe pull off another Cosmic Divide before the half is over. Obviously, he'd like to just hold on to this Phantom for now. Crazy Guy coming in behind. Doesn't look like he's going to check for it. So,
Like he juggled that off away.
were you ever any good at hide and seek as a kid? Did you play that? Apparently,
Yes.
Harvey's pretty good at it.
Yeah, Javi's amazing. I'm terrible.
Really?
It's too big. I'd be spotted out around the just no, I'm just joshing around. But as you look through the rounds again,
Whoa.
it's RQ's ability to be that flexible and switch up the pace on a dime. Meanwhile, though, for GE to try to find that correction once again, unfortunately this time a little bit more broke. We'll kind of see how they approach it this time around. They've been proactive, and that's been their game plan. RQ's been starting to bait them out now more into the open, but go back towards farming alt orbs and then back up on the B side again.
I would hesitate to guess that GE's pretty much taken every single ult orb outside of A this entire half. So, been certainly getting their values worth out of that conditioning. Quick rotate over.
Once again, if they go 8-4.
It's Autumn to B.
I think that's the thing about RQ, though. They're happy to let that go. They leave Jemkin on that insert, and that's always going to mean that B is an available option to them. And if that happens, they take down a place like mid. They'll be able to pivot off into the A side if necessary. Jemkin becomes a lurk. Or you end up back again on the B side in a B split. And that's one where G might not be able to respond back well enough. At least the smoke kind of deters them from the site for now.
Bro, I would just say you one thing.
G's really hoping for a B hit here. They're not going to get it. Flash is going to go over the top of A. That's going to draw the attention of Patman. Meanwhile, Udotan not having any luck in that fight against Monyet. This is where Patman really has to have another one of those X-Factor rounds, and he could with 20 seconds on the clock if he's not cleared, which not quite properly by Monyet. That'll be a judge in his hand and impossible to make use of it. So RRQ navigating things well enough thus far. Still the retake yet to come. It's not a whole lot for GE. This should be a 5th for RRQ.
बहुत स्लो खेली हुई है RRQ.
Last man standing. Some damage, but nothing more than that.
Some.
RRQ up to a 5th.
You want some, you get some. Boom.
Would love to get that 7-5 lead. I think it'll be a really stable position to be in at the halftime break.
Yeah, just a slight consolation prize for Autumn, if anything. He just wants to get 2 away from the run it back. But thinking about the round once again, I mean, although Udotan does manage to slow them down somewhat, again, it's just RQ always leaving these options available for themselves. And you're starting to see Monyet be a little bit more proactive now. So let's listen in to how G might find the response in this final round.
Can we dog him and we...
Can you fake stab long now?
Fix that now?
Dogging. They don't like. Oh,
On top.
Same push coming through from GE, and similar result. It doesn't work out this time at all. They've just tried to cook a little bit too hard in these kinds of rounds, Quack, and sometimes too many cooks spoil the broth, as they say, and it seems like GE might be spoiling their first half a little bit here with aggressive plays.
You are absolutely right, because this actually might end in a 6-6. They spent the lockdown in the previous round as well. A little bit over-eager this time. They have to somehow scrounge together a 3v5. Both flashes and all utilities spent already.
How do you get in? I mean, there's just smokes everywhere.
हो गया, चलो guys.
With a nice pick onto Kushi, and he did push Jemkin out of position with the
4v3.
Still not enough. It's going to be a tough road back in here for GE. They're just going to have to frag out, and that has not happened. Tough crossfire to break, impossible crossfire to break, one might say. So Crystal will do what he's going to be able to, but realistically, I think we all kind of know which way this round is going. RRQ are not giving him even a sliver. He's going to pretty much just give it up. He knows this one is done and dusted. There's an extra kill just for good measure, but realistically,
Yanti!
RRQ, I think, will be pretty happy with that recovery, given the half was looking a little awkward for them at one point at that 6-3 scoreline.
Yeah, good recovery. I mean, that's the difference in, I think, experience of the two teams sometimes. That one split-second decision in round number 11, where the lockdown comes in, could have been the difference maker in this round. If you had a lockdown, that could be a whole different retake. But unfortunately, it came down to those flashes from Autumn, and that's where you kind of applaud.
Guys, we crossed 50k views on the Valorant roster we announced, and 3k likes as well on that. With 111 saves. Are you serious, guys? कौन save कर रहा है?
G has had a lot of successful pistols despite losing to teams like KRX and PaperX. But can that same performance be put forward?
Bot accounts सबसे remove हुए हैं कल.
These are easy poses. I reckon you could do these.
You could as well.
We should get the camera on Quack. He would love to do a pose.
Okay, nice. Way to throw me under the bus, buddy. Let's put Pilsky somewhere on this.
Yeah, get Pilsky down there. He'd be having a great time with the poses. Make him flex. I think he's got big muscles these days. He's been going to the gym. Question is, which of these two teams have been going to the gym here in this halftime break? Because, you know, RRQ and Global very evenly matched right now. So, you know, any extra little bit of conversation in that 30-40 seconds that they have is a big difference maker.
Actually, 3030 plus likes हो गए हैं, guys. मैं वही check कर रहा था.
Whether or not we go to that third map, which again would be fun, but you want to see them perform well. Main thing is they always need to be able to keep their wits about. You want to see them perform well. Eager, a little bit too relaxed. That's where things can fall apart. This time around, once again, a main control.
Just backing up our.
मजा आ रहा है भाई.
Again, GE loves those A ult orbs.
रुको, गेम का एक्सपीरियंस मैंने गलती से तुम्हारा भी खराब कर दिया, मेरा भी खराब कर दिया.
Looking to retake the space, but Harvey is there to harass them a little bit. Flash out the corner, Boldia chasing. Oh! Harvey happy to take his head off, and that is a lot of space that has been created for GE. Trouble is they've lost a player in transition, so Spike will get planted over on A. This is an important peak for Udo.
Nice, Udo!
Down out of nowhere. The round flips back on its head. Crazy guy pushing his way straight into Autumn's crosshair, and RRQ, the round will fall apart. It's all on the shoulders of Xfero, who, again, has been good, but now been spotted out. And so you think it will be a little bit too much to ask. This high-low setup should have it. Good shot, but a 1v3.
मजा आ गया भाई. क्या उड़ो ने 2 मारे?
Pistol.
They have courage, but no one.
Almost flicked 180 fully though.
Autumn is 8-8. भाई पूरा टीम परफॉर्म कर रहा है. अच्छा लगता है ये देख के.
Just looking at how these kills go through and
कोई एक प्लेयर है वो 20-25 पे नहीं बैठा हुआ है, बाकी टीम 2-4 पे नहीं झूल रही है. अच्छा लग रहा है कि पूरा टीम 7-8-9-10 ऐसा एक लाइन में परफॉर्मेंस आ रही है, राउंड्स जीत रहे हैं.
That's just more information, more spacing for G to play off of, and that's where they're able.
Udo is happy. Udo.
Next round comes up, and they're going in with a buy that kind of allows them to play with reserves over onto the next round as well. It's a full intention over onto B this time around.
It's a heavy B stack here from RRQ. GE will not want to make the mistake of pushing in here.
Autumn gets one. Autumn has farmed the orb as well. Autumn को अगर 2 frag और मिले तो Autumn का ये round का हो गया.
Charge into the run it back.
With the Bulldog as well, I mean, that's potentially more kills. You have Crystal on that deep insert. So another option back over onto A side. RQ has the same exact idea. This could be a bloodbath.
Quick play into where you don't want to be doing a quick play into is probably what I would call that round. Not a very good one, unfortunately, for RRQ, and this second half is kind of just gone a little bit pear-shaped for them. Obviously, early days.
Nice, nice.
Don't want to be giving GE any real advantages, especially given how strong they were at coming back from a
Plant भी हो गया. Let's go. पैसा भी आ गया.
Map. It feels like GE are in command right now.
And for the first 2 rounds, if the first half is any, I guess, inkling as to how the rest of this could go.
Plant हुआ, पैसा आया, frags मिले, Autumn का भी ultimate ready हो गया. एक 6v5 का जो game है वो भी ready हो जाएगा.
Any exploration and ideas towards that kind of direction just yet.
Autumn looking great. Autumn is 10 and 8. भाई मैं वो बोला ना, देखो 8, 9, 9, 10, 11. क्या crazy लग रहा है.
Back again into A main, and GE are poised for this fight.
Not really going to be a fight presented though. Run it back will be invested. It's been charged up again incredibly quickly by Autumn, who will just try and get a bit of info in onto the site. Has not seen anything, but he's got the wall out and he has drawn out a bit of defensive util there as well, which I think GE's happy with. You know, they're not using that as a commitment. They're just trying to unsettle RRQ a little bit. Jemkin now out in no man's land.
Nice shot, Batman!
Takes his head off with the Sheriff. Such confidence. Batman not too eager to overcommit though through the smoke into B.
Yeah, he's got a rifle now, mate. And then you've got G back over onto A main, running circles around RQ. It's just Cushy here to try to slow it down.
Would this be the nail?
Molly भी उधर जाएगी.
They lose to this bonus. Molly has pushed Cushy back. Not taken out just yet. Udotan.
Nice, Udo.
He's all over the place and it's impossible to hit, but Crazy Guy.
Oh, Crazy Guy move.
Either Monyet in gets the double, and that will be the defuse you'd think. Patman's going to try and deny. The smoke fades, and Monyet wins a critical round.
चार मार दिया मोनिये.
Way too close for comfort though.
Truly, but still a welcome hero play nonetheless. I mean, what on earth? For every failed first kill in so many of these rounds or in engagements, somehow he's able to pull this out of the hat. Starts things off from back, and pushes all the way up front. Able to, you know, slice the pie bit by bit, but it's the fact that he kind of anticipates Pat as well, and then manages to land that final shot. That could have been Pat's round had he whiffed somehow. So, a bit of a launching pad for RQ, but GE able to buy back up as well. And G once again just trying to do their best all the way work around the map. Whoa! I just... What?
You don't need to say anything else. I think the reaction says it all. That was kind of nutty from Jemkin, right?
Huh?
That's perfect pre-fire, perfect accuracy. Pre-aim, I should say.
Yellow.
Well,
Okay, Autumn gets one.
Ball goes up. Entry into B will be
Flash.
off the back of that. We'll get that curveball around the corner to try and take a bit of that space. Dog misses.
Second flash.
Backing
Xavi
away,
gets
GE
one.
to recover this round. Forget about Jemkin. Now it's all about Monyet with that overdrive.
Still Autumn and Xavi gets the frags.
How can Jemkin start around like that and then you still lose? Surely not RRQ. Cosmic Divide down. Xfero unheard but spotted in the end as Crystal takes him out of the air. That is criminal from RRQ to lose a round like that.
So many thoughts. I mean, still GE just having those retake protocols, just scavenging a 3v5. And it begins with Autumn. Oh. I mean, this one, I wanted to make a joke. My monkey brain just tells me, yeah, I'm just going to do it anyway.
I just want to see it again. Can we see it again?
Yeah, my reaction to that would be, well, slow-mo replay, but also check his PC. Jemkin has some kind of, software. I'm kidding, of course. But Monyet has some kind of a bug in his PC. One round he's doing amazing things. Next round, even with overdrive and everything, he's just fumbled the bag. And then G is able to find more plays, more setups around the site off of it. And that's another round where Autumn finds more multi-kills to put himself on top. So the next round comes up and it's going to be a timeout because, unfortunately, well, GE, as much as they feel in control, they're seeing some mistakes, potential plays where, RRQ is able to play spoiler. Kind of want to work around or be a little bit more careful with how you're able to take forward space. Yes, you want to leave players like maybe Javi or, I don't know, Pat on some deep insert somewhere, but if it's not safe enough, you're just sacrificing numbers to the cause.
Lots to cheer about for the GE fans in the crowd. That is a really massive round to win. RRQ are broke. They've got no tools in this round at all. No ultis really to work with. Okay, maybe Crazy Guy gets the Cosmic Divide, or Jemkin gets a couple and pulls out the Tour de Force, but it just feels like a pretty doomed round here for RRQ, does it not? GE should have a 10-7 lead, and that is a pretty commanding lead in the context of this series, which has been so damn close. Jemkin forced away.
Usually you could rush him, seeing just a lone chamber about that smoke.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to see that necessarily out of GE. They haven't really been a fast team so far.
हो गया गाइस, सब सेटअप कर लिया है. 2-3 चीजें सेटअप करनी थी भाई. एक तो स्ट्रीम के टाइम पे एक सारा काम एक साथ आ जाता है ना, और दिमाग खराब होता है.
Good drone on the timing though, but it gets shut down and suddenly you're starting to think, RQ, when are you going to pivot back? Find those rotations.
Well, Prowlers don't spot anybody. Cushy will try to get back on the line, but just a little bit terrified. And again, GE are just playing this back and forth game. They are really playing ring around the rosy with RRQ. How many times we've seen them pressure one side of the map, pressure the other side of the map, go back to the initial side of the map.
Yes. I mean, if you look at Crazy Guy's utility now, he's surely but slowly starting to run out of smokes, and that's going to be an open site for G to kick down those doors.
It's a good gamble though for RRQ. They're going to have 4 or 5 players over on this side, so maybe there's something in that if the entries don't go the way of GE. Fortunately, so far, so good.
Monya with the single.
As far as GE are concerned, the Patmen.
Jemkin. 3v3. Sub 60 HP hai.
For Crazy Guy. Tour de Force still missing for Jemkin as well. But one kill here for maybe Crazy Guy could really make a big difference if he can put down a big wall for the defuse. We'll see.
But Xavi and Udo with Crystal 10-7 double digits. 6-7, 6-7.
Might have liked it to him. But it's a stable spot to be in.
And stable is that key word. I mean, rounds like this, if you overplay your hand, it's very easy to kind of lose your head over it. But taking a look at how this plays out, in fact, G kind of regains or maintains that composure. Recognizing, all right, it's eco, I'm going to play it safe, I'm going to stay in my portion of the site, not going too far, overextended towards the back where there could be pistols, there could be shotguns, and they would be right. Next round coming up though, and it's Jemkin with Tour de Force.
Oh,
Harvey deleted.
That's
What you
pretty.
can do about that one, and Yudotan unable to find the quick trade, so that is going to prompt GE to try something a little bit quicker here. Autumn,
Nice party.
Dealt with by
Nice one, Udo.
and Yudotan have taken so much space on the site that RRQ already still feeling a little bit under the pressure.
Let's go, Yudotan.
Back, but he's pushed away by the Nightfall. And this
भाई सभी utils use हो गई.
I'm getting a good feeling for GE. Another on the board, 11-7. Their first.
कितना fast खेले ये round.
And it might not just be a, hey, we're here for a party. It might actually be, hey, we're here to go the distance.
They really could. This is very encouraging for GE fans all around. I mean, the sudden switch up to pick up the pace, and that's what this comp is. Coach Frost trying to play that tempo game. You have Autumn on run it back duty, and despite being taken down through smokes, they just rush it down.
He is pumped.
Whatever comes. And they shove Jemkin off of that op line. That makes all the difference. Forces RQ's hand into trying to play for a retake where they're working off of lesser resources. Really unfortunate for this team that has been so incredible at running through overtimes, running through multiple comebacks. But at this stage, at this point in time, it doesn't feel like they have much else left in the tank. You look at the guns they'll have to bring back up for the next round. You think about the setups that they still might be able to pull out.
Guys, 2 और rounds फिर हम लोग जाएंगे, स्ट्रीम बंद करेंगे, थोड़ा रेस्ट भी करूंगा मैं आज करूंगा guys please, because मैं एक ही चीज तुम लोग को बता रहा हूँ.
So I would say this has been an extremely dominant half from GE, and it's going to be a last roll of the dice now for RRQ. A loss here would mean they go down to play against DFM.
I am clearly saying you one thing.
Send GE through to the Paper X match.
मेरी नींद हुई नहीं है, मेरे को सोना है. कल से सारे गेम्स कर लेंगे गाइस, पक्का.
Damn good here. And I back them to close it out the way they've been looking in this half. Let's see whether or not though that's going to be a bit of a cast to curse. RRQ, an awkward buy.
Jenkin has hit these shots before. Let's see him again.
Oh.
Well, you'd be forgiven for thinking that was Autumn with a runner back on, because he has had a few of them this half. But no, that was just Autumn walking his way down to B. So he's out of the picture for this round.
And at the same time, Cushy has control over A main now.
That was kind of a zombie walk.
The flash outside if he needs to, but GE trying to end up with a B split.
You really don't want this round to be the fumble, you know. It was so clean for GE up to this point. Killjoy, ulti going to go down. It's going to push a couple of these players back.
Yeah, see the reactions of the players, and then maybe you find a kill through B-Link.
Oh, there's an attempt in for it. Xfero stuck in the corner. They're aware of that. Surely there's no getting out of it.
No, bro, no!
Xfero for one, and Monyet came in to back him up. RRQ answer the call. It was supposed to work out so cleanly for GE, but it has been anything but. And all of a
ये
sudden,
बाकियों ने ना दिमाग खराब कर रखा है. Actually इन बाकियों ने दिमाग खराब कर रखा है.
Every time they did this last week against DFM, and the week before that, and the week before that, they're doing it again. Although you do kind of question how much more can they keep going with this.
सिर्फ 2 rounds चाहिए GE को यार, सिर्फ 2.
Put them in a 3-round gap against GE. Kind of write this one off. It's another lockdown, which unfortunately doesn't go the way that G would have hoped off of perhaps some whiff shots, but you got to credit Monyet for how quickly he's able to recognize the need to support his teammate.
I thought it was a really well executed round. I thought the decision was really fantastic from GE. You could see
पैसे हैं, पैसों का टेंशन ही नहीं है भाई.
Push those players exactly back.
क्रेड्स का इशू ही नहीं है. देखो 9,000 क्रेड्स लेके बैठे हैं.
You know, they got the players out of position that they wanted, but they weren't able to find Xfero. They weren't able to get him quickly enough, and then obviously the coverage comes back in from Monyet. So, nice idea from GE, but it just mis-executed, unfortunately.
And that's, you know, those slight mistakes could cost you potential things like overtime. That should have been GE's map point, but for now, listening to RQ with buys. Over A main, and they're just waiting for it. As heard by Crazy Guy, he has the pull.
Batman waiting for the perfect moment. Prowlers spotting Cushy out, but GE not going to commit off the back of this. As has typically been the case, they're not going to go on their first attempt, right? Like, they like that double pump. They like to toy with the rotations of RRQ.
Bait out that utility first, all those crucial stars that Crazy Guy loves to play off of.
They are going to be spotted on their way through Art. So that A setup is going to remain 3 strong. Tough ass to get past.
Crazy Guy. Chemkin 68. Patman down. Cushy थोड़ा बहुत heal किया.
They're just able to play off towards the back of it. Perfectly planted for stairs as well as A main. What a default spot. RQ going to try to work off of the lockdown, and they will be able to kind of push up a little bit, trying to see if there's any reaction from GE, but GE is just so comfortable right now.
भाई क्रिस्टल टाइमिंग पे पिक करके सबको मार गया. He was like 3 सेकंड का गेम खेल लेता हूँ. भाई क्या खेला है?
Down into the lower bracket. I mean, how has he timed that so darn well? Right off of the tap, goes in for the peak. And it's just pixel perfect accuracy off the first
Bro,
shot,
what he has
the
done!
And then the final one as well. Unbelievable. That just might have done it. Heavy investment from RQ with the guns brought in, and now they find themselves somewhat broke.
Yeah, this is great from GE. Everybody's having a moment today. All 5 players having impact in various given rounds. And that is a recipe for success for them for sure. RRQ need 4 rounds in a row. They need to be flawless from here on out if they want to survive in this map and try to push us through Ascent. It seems, though, that we might not be getting Ascent to start off the day.
Now, it's over.
It all here, right in this moment. Monyet hiding around the corner with a judge.
Lots of noise being made outside of A. The creep up from Yudotan goes straight into said judge, and Cushy for the spam on in.
Head, but Xfero feels like he's got a task to do. Oh, he's gonna get hit by a lineup.
Oh, that's not good at all. Xfero finishes off Autumn.
Thinking about the A side as well. I mean, G did check it, but they checked it with their face. Then again,
Guys, those who are new, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Seek Zeven.
And there's still a potential chance for RRQ to make it happen. GE, all they're looking for is just perhaps one big round where maybe Autumn comes in with run it back.
Yeah, I think every time he's had to run it back, he's got some kind of value out of it. Even if it hasn't resulted in a kill, there's always been certainly at least a little bit of space created. A lot of the time, GE have been good enough to convert on that space as well.
Let's see, as they position themselves for some kind of a mid play. Big A presence from RQ though.
Question is, do you hold on to those ultis and just have one massive round to close this map out as GE? Or do you try to layer them through? You know, you can use the Cosmic Divide here, you could use their overdrive next round, give yourselves a few opportunities, a few bites at the cherry. It's a question they'll have to figure out.
Hold on all for some, depending on the situation and how it plays out. They're thinking about the potential positions around middle now, knowing that A main has been taken by RQ, so just to pivot off of Art for the time being, seeing that it is relatively clear, but then you got to worry about how Monyet could potentially.
Chalo guys, आज legit नींद आ रही है भाई.
How A main is still dirty.
Space taken nicely there by GE, but response was pretty swift from RRQ. So
Map 3 हुआ तो इसको continue करेंगे.
Yudotan trying to clear out Crazy Guy, but that cutout is being a real thorn in the side of GE at the moment.
Same damn position.
Yeah.
Crystal on the lurk now, and suddenly it's a pivot over onto A site.
जिसका होने का chance तो कम है.
Walls up 2, curveball in. Autumn gets them into the site. Plan's going to go down nice and open, but these next couple of minutes, or next couple of seconds rather, I should say, are going to be really critical. Patman's gone through the wall, waiting on the other side of it to be the X factor that could potentially open this round back up once again, as he has continued to do so many times. Wants to clear out back behind the
timing.
Again,
okay, 1 for 1.
But that throws a fox among the henhouse here for RRQ, as they desperately now try to push their way back into the site with the help of Jemkin. Their own Cosmic Divide cutting off that spike plan, and down to just one. RRQ.
भाई साहब एक राउंड चाहिए यार.
Put themselves within range of map point with just 2 rounds away, or I mean overtime, excuse me. I mean, again, it's one of these where they're backed into the corner, but sitting so comfortably, so defensively, they're able to whittle down these numbers and work around what's known, which is the Cosmic Divide on site, the spike planted, somewhat out in the open, and instantly trading off of kills. You know that smoke came up at a timing. It's possible that it's dirty, maybe someone's hiding inside, and they don't peek it alone. Monyet might have been the first to fall in that moment, but instantly the trades came through. They set up their own Cosmic Divide off of it. It's just lovely retake protocols once again from RQ, and that's what most of these rounds, I guess, have looked like in this second half for the guys, but you really need to come off something stronger than that now, with the final 2 rounds just a few seconds away. The timeout now called from GE with their own possible plan as well, and this is exactly another thing that I'm talking about. They might have spent the Cosmic Divide in that previous round, but take a look at Autumn, Yudotan, even Crystal, just a few points away from their own ultimate, and if they are somehow able to chain and combo all those effectively enough, it's just so many multiple layers that RQ might not be able to work off of, even in a retake. You think about perhaps the Nightfall to give yourself the sight, Yudotan and Autumn off of run it back to take further space, lock down
कुछ चीजें भाई देखने में बहुत मजा आता है.
And RQ needs to play it flawlessly. If not, this entire house of cards could fall apart.
Yeah. In saying that though, these last couple of rounds have looked pretty solid from RRQ. It's not as if it's done halfway there.
Global esports वालों, I want to say you something. I am feeling very sleepy.
As well. G would not want to falter at the final hurdle. It sort of feels like it's in the bag. A chance against Paper X tomorrow. One match away from London. They almost can taste it already.
The London air. Ooh, how does that taste?
I don't know. Might have to ask Morgan. Wouldn't want to get too far ahead of yourself though if you're GE.
Very careful approach. A main silently being taken by RQ. A sudden peek could hurt them.
Nice.
It's not the round you want to be losing a player early. Not least Monyet, who has been fragging well and recovering a lot of these rounds for RRQ. Especially Monyet that's got the overdrive unused in this round as well. It's a big player to lose.
Slight high-low setup towards the back of A site. GE not really feeling the need to contend with
Flash आएगा Amen का.
Finding that port of call back over, perhaps over onto B side, but trying to sell that fake over onto A.
Mark 2.
Yeah, this is actually quite a convincing fake as far as I'm concerned. Look at Unitan all the way in. He gets the better
Nice.
as well. And Crystal catches X-Pharaoh on the rotate. I think this might just be it.
Nice.
He's going to go down over on B, but that
Plant to B hai.
Patman is on the warpath. He wants to get it done. And he can't quite get it on his own. So it will come down to Crazy Guy to try to save the game here for RRQ.
अभी तो अल्टी भी है क्रिस्टल की.
Almost fitting that it should be Crazy Guy. With a chance to play in front of his home crowd.
12 seconds यहाँ यूज हो जाएंगे.
Every chance possible, but
4-5 सेकंड पहले यूज्ड ही थे.
How are you going to get through this lockdown? Crazy Guy is going to have to respect it. Backs off, but that will cost him some crucial seconds as that spike ticks away. Tries to pull out a defender from behind the box. It's not going to happen there either, and now finally spots one out, but there's just no chance at all.
टिक टिक करके 2 शॉट मारे, खत्म किया, मैच जीता.
And send RRQ packing down into that lower bracket and set themselves into the match tomorrow against Paper X.
Old nemesis, Frost versus something, round 2 in stage 1. Let's see it happen. But for now, let's talk a little
कल
bit about
Paper X के साथ गेम है.
Scoreline of 13-10. I mean, it just feels as though perhaps the
कल का गेम is against Paper X. भी देखो. हाँ, कल का गेम is against Paper X. अगर हम यहाँ जीतते हैं, I don't want these guys to like. I just want these guys कि एक Paper X वाला गेम जीतो, अपर फाइनल जाओ. Just 2 more games, guys. Just 2 more games. Actually, 2 more games. Let's go, babe. हो गया सेटअप. कल 1:30 बजे. It is Paper X versus the team Global Esports. 1, 2, 3. Masters London. RRQ को भेज दिया है लोअर में. Let's go. चलो guys, I'll be seeing you in the next one. आज थोड़ा सा ब्रेक ले लेता हूँ मैं. Till then, bye bye. Take care. See ya. Loves you. Bye bye.